this is like the wild card team here because we've seen that at their peak, they can be one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah, in their plays, they have shown, especially from Hakatoi's clutch and everything, they do have a really big potential. So let's see if Navi can show their peak performance in PGC 2024. So next top 7 is Patrick Road from China.
So this is a team that's had some ups and downs regionally and internationally. This team is very capable, but you need to find ways to enable A-Clutch, get your star player firing on all cylinders and come out.
Vamos a chequear qué tal el audio.
So
Bueno,
looking at the
esto
PGC
está...
2024 roster,
Esto no es live,
maybe
¿no?
Summer will be IGLing again, we don't know.
Un video,
but let's
pero
see
de
how
hoy
they can come back
temprano.
in PGC 2024. Last but not least is FaceClan. FaceClan already got their ticket to PGC based on PGC points in EMEA, but to be in the better spot in the circuit system of PGC 2024, they had to have accumulate points.
PUBG match.
They
Este es el
actually
championship.
came in as a PGS point seed.
Look, this is one of the most veteran teams we have right now.
Por
All
ahí han
of these
habido
players
otros
have been around the
torneos al
block.
día.
Good play of players like Jeans, like Vex, Rexy, all these guys are incredible.
So we've talked about top 8 teams from PGS points, and let's move on to the rest 16 teams who have accumulated their PGC points in their regional series. And let's start with the EMEA region first.
So the first team I think we should look at is Eternal Fire. They've been relatively consistent when they make it to the global events. They got 6 at EWC.
Sí, bueno, ahí los comentarios que hacen están chéveres. Voy a chequear qué tal el... A ver si pongo un poco mejor el audio.
BB team is also new team. The name is new, but the players are quite familiar.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically the core of the old question mark team, you know, led by Aduzi. They're a very, very strong team. Now they're bringing in Spyro from Twisted Minds, and he is a very, very strong fragger too. So certainly BB team they're going to be scary.
Vamos a ver qué tal comienza.
Actually, they couldn't make it to the PGC before PGS 6 started, but thanks to FaceClan, they had the last
como
spot
10
in the
matches.
EMEA region.
Por ahí, por aquí aparecen
Ibiza
6
is a
matches.
very long time player, one of the most popular players in PUBG esports, just due to who he is as a streamer and also as a player. Getting to see him back at an international event is super cool.
Eso no lo entendí
So next
mucho.
is Americas region. Here we have 2 teams.
I think Falcons is a team that everybody thinks should be doing better than they are. There's a lot of talent on this team, there's a lot of experience, that if they can find their right form, they can do a lot of damage. Luna Galaxy, this Brazilian team, the old Legacy squad, well, the core of it mostly. Z-Kraken has looked really good at times this year, looking at some stronger performances, but we haven't seen a lot of consistency. They struggle in the early part of the game. What can this Luna Galaxy team do to recover and have better performances at PGC 2024?
Next is China, and the first team is Tianba.
Yeah, Tianba is a really solid team. They have shown really good performances at times internationally. Lin Shu, a great IGL, great fragger. Ken He, with the addition of CC108, really bring this team to greater heights.
So next is NH Esports, which we call New Happy. So New Happy not only performed well in PCL, but also shown impressive performances in recent PGSs. I think they're still a good team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you still have Bing Bing there, who's absolutely cracked, one of the best mechanical players in the world. But with Xiaozi and AZ coming into this squad, are they going to be able to continue to improve on those performances we saw?
Next is Weibo Gaming. We have Shen in this team.
Yeah, Shen is cracked. There's no other way to put it. He is a really talented player. ZYY also a very good player. So that team has a lot of potential. They could really surprise at PGC.
Next, 4 Angry Men, our old love team from China. And I saw that Godfrey is coming in the roster for PGC 2024.
Yeah, it's always a bit of a gamble with Godfrey. World champions on this team, quite literally, former NH players. So are they going to be able to use that experience, find some cohesion? But it has been
Todo es una mentira.
So
La vida es una mentira.
Teams with PGS points and PGC points are quite divided. So let's see these teams who have performed well in their region also play well in the global level. Next is Korea, which is the region with the previous PGC 2023 champion. But this year, they only have 3 teams based on PGC points, not having a single team advancing with the PGS points.
Yeah, it's been a rough year. There's been a lot of roster changes throughout Korea. The Kwangdong Freaks probably have been the most consistent for Korea throughout 2024, but it still hasn't been great. Yes, you've got great fraggers on that team. Salute is the first one that comes to your mind. He was on Danawa last year, has a trophy, and he's been good.
Korea tenía solo 3 teams
see some
para la
performances from them on the
clasificación.
international stage. stage.
Next, T1. T1 was out of PUBG's esports scene for a while, but they have created a team this year and participated in PUBG esports.
Yeah, so it's the old PSG roster, plus you bring in Type. He's fragging very well for them. They're still seemingly trying to get all on the same page and trying to adapt to the international lobbies.
So last could be Gen G with top 3 in the PGC points. They were struggling a little bit in this year, but they did show a great performance in the last event, PGS 6.
Yeah, so it finally started to come together towards the end of the year here. The beginning of the year as well, they looked really, really strong in PWS. You have Barpo, who was one of the best fraggers in PWS in 2023. Adder, a veteran player. So Rex as well, those two have played together, but it hasn't been consistent. And the real question is what we saw at the end of PGS 6, is that going to be the Gen G that shows up at PGC?
Last but not least is APAC region.
I want to start with the Expendables. You know, they're the team that kind of ended 17's hopes of winning PGS 5. Who knows what they're going to do at their peak? They could be really, really good.
Next is Day Trade Gaming. This Thailand team have been in the top, but recently they seem to struggle a bit. But in PGS 6, they have shown.
They finally found their confidence. I mean, I think they just needed to start taking good fights, finding their opportunities. Hopefully they can really push the envelope and show us like a top 8 finish or even better.
So next coming up is Bleed Esports from Indonesia.
They're solid players. A lot of them have been around for quite some time in PUBG Esports, but they haven't really blown the doors off of us this year, so seeing if maybe they can improve on some of that, come into PGC with some new strategies, some new ideas, and who knows, maybe they're going to make grand finals. There's enough talent there for sure.
Who had qualified as a wild card, Holt City Seed, our Malaysian team, Schweiger Dui.
If you ever watched PCS Asia, you're going to be familiar with a lot of these players. You have MML, who used to be Tian Tian, who was on Tianda. You have Mings, who was also on Tianda, and Petrocor at one point. Then you have Jervis and Payne used to be Sophia. That's a player that a lot of people know.
Sí, tiene su tiempo de descanso, ¿no?
So we've looked through all the 24 teams participating in PGC 2024.
Deberían poder.
And we also have to focus on each player. Who do you think have a potential to win the MVP?
I think everybody's going to think of Example first. Guy is absolutely insane. In particular, his DMR has been really, really on point this year. He's got a well-balanced playstyle as well. He can get it done. So he has everything you could want out of a star player.
Next MVP candidate, I think it could be a Severus Esports.
40 minutos
Him and Example are number 1 and 2. There's no question about it. Everybody thinks that. They are amazing. But there's a little bit different. Behemoth is probably a little bit better with assault rifles. He's really good in those clutch situations, in those 1vx scenarios. So that's probably where you'd maybe give him a little bit of an edge, but it's hard to compare because they're both so darn good. Shrimzy from Sonics, he kind of plays more of a backline role. He's so good with the AUG, so he could be your MVP. Sparking is another one of those just amazing all-around players. Great mechanics in every regard, DMR or AR, and he's also got just great reactions. It's hard to pick the 17 because there's so many good players on that team.
Estar durando 50 minutos, entonces,
any three of those guys could actually win MVP. However, I think we should look at Petrocor Road. They do have a really good performance this year at EWC.
Bueno, el que tiene,
is a big part of that.
entiende
So
inglés.
if they pop off at PGC, it could actually be
Today we have been talking about the participating teams, things to watch for in the PGC 2024. I want to explain more about some action and activities that we can enjoy.
Prende empujado. Se dice que prende empujado.
2024 item is out. How do you think?
I love it. It's got this like futuristic soldier feel. It's quite different from some of the other skins we've had for previous events. So I think these are really, really cool.
Yeah, so if you buy this PGC 2024 items, you can get a voting coupons and participate in Pick the Winner Pick'em Challenge. You can vote until December 20th, 5 p.m. KST. Look at the circuit stage. So don't forget to watch the full circuit system and guess the winner and get this cool EP items too. Also, they have a free challenge, Team Face Off, so please check in game. And this is our pick for the Pick'em Challenge.
And of course, we also have the Twire Fantasy. Really makes watching PUBG Esports a lot more fun.
We also have a drops event. You can earn items by watching live stream of PGC 2024 based on your watch time.
And I also heard that there's another exciting thing to look forward to at PGC 2024. There's going to be a pre-event match before the official event starts.
Yes, we're going to have a pre-event match on December 8th. in 1 p.m. Malaysian time in the brand new sun up where things are destructible. So I think it's going to be really exciting pre-event match. But here 48 players will be participating, so 2 players from each team. And there will be 4 matches and there will also be 10,000 prize pool. So don't miss out this pre-event match too. From the beginning, we have been talking about everything we have to know to better enjoy PUBG Global Championship 2024. How was it today?
Oh, it was great. I mean, I'm really excited for PGC again.
We have been talking about some prize pool, so don't team. And there will be 4 matches and there will also be 10,000 prize pool. So don't miss out this pre-event match too. From the beginning, we have been talking about everything we have to know to better enjoy PUBG Global Championship 2024. How was it today?
Oh, it was great. I mean, I'm really excited for PGC again.
A medida que vayan avanzando ya van ganando algo, ¿no?
Que ya
ganaron una... Porque esto es como la etapa final del torneo. Dura hasta el 22 de diciembre. Que ya sería la final.
And not only that, please enjoy our online activities too. So stay tuned for PUBG Global Championship 2024, which is kicking off in Malaysia on December 9th, and check out which team will be lifting the trophy.
Y bueno, sí, en noviembre fue como la primera stage del torneo, ¿no? Con la eliminatoria, van clasificando ahí.
That's right, we are back. We are here for PGC 2024. We have got an opportunity for one of these teams to go from undeniable to eternal here and become the world champion. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Carl Lars, joining you as the host for today. Alongside me to break things down, good old Toffees. We're back, baby, together. We've not been together for a while, but we're back, baby.
They split us. They've been making us work separately, but they gave us the desk today, and I'm excited because, as you said, this is where legends are made, and I am excited. The teams have been preparing for this all year, and I can't wait to see, does the Twisted era continue, or do we see a new challenger?
It's a good point. It is a good point. Obviously, they are the one that you would always bring up first when it comes to what we've seen throughout 2024, how they've been performing, and looking a cut above the rest. However, there is such a strong field. This is the strongest field for a PGC we've ever had.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at it, Sonics came out of UWC. They played very, very well. So you argue maybe they only make the moves when the money's on the line. You've got a team like TSM, which is blowing my mind that I'm saying this, that have been so ridiculously consistent that they actually have a shot at doing this thing. You got other teams like Freaks, like Matt, if they show up in Freak form, they could go the distance and surprise everybody with a top 3. So I'm excited about what we're going to see.
And of course, we have along for the journey all of our partners that are joining us. So first and foremost, we have up-pubg. You can overpower your game, and they are the main partner of PUBG Esports. So thank you to them for joining us along for the ride. We also have the Tropicana Garden Mall, who is our official venue partner. We are inside the mall right now, in the heart of the mall.
The heart of the mall.
Yes.
Y yo creo que mañana vuelvo a hacer un streaming, puede ser pasado mañana.
TT Racing joining us as the official gaming furniture partner, so providing all the chairs.
Por ahí a mí me gustaría lanzarlo a live, pero bueno, es como suficiente a live, ¿no?
And finally, we have Okupa, a new addition to the roster as well, joining us as our official hand warmer partner in all of this, actually specifically designed for people that are esports lovers to make sure you're able to stave off those chilly hands and keep you good to go.
Those long games. Yeah, it's not bad. I'm warming up to them. I've never been a hand warmer kind of guy, but I like it. They're easy to move. They get warm real fast. They're great between games.
I'm going to tell you, as someone who lives in Poland, when it's snowing all the time right now, I appreciate them.
You know, no, my wife just got me a heating blanket because I was complaining about being cold downstairs. Yes. This is probably a cooler way to stay warm than a heating blanket.
And a cool way to potentially get a chunk of 2 million G-coin on the board. Scan this code. Basically, what it's going to ask you to do throughout the tournament is to predict the winning team's points by the end of the tournament. Oh, sorry, in that grand final stage. And then if you win, if you get the right points, you will get a chunk of that 2 million.
Sí, estoy escuchando que dice.
So it's like a lottery. You got to share the winners with the chances.
Sí, el chamo.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so exciting stuff here for you guys to be involved, and also scan this code
Yo
as
creo
well.
que es ganando. Si uno pega
it's like a I'm going to call it a trophy.
Match results,
like a PUBG Battlegrounds trophy that you can put on your desk and it lights up and it's cool and things like that. So check that out as well.
Instead of just labeling your stream as PUBG, you can have it on your desk.
Everything that is going to go down here for PGC 2024 though, as we have the circuit format into the grand finals. So we will have 3 of these circuit trophies across the next few weeks.
Yo pensé que solo las daban así medio random, algo
into the grand finals for your chance at that top 16.
Yo creo que hay unos otros premios. Estaba viendo si 2 millones, que iban a haber 100 ganadores.
Circuit 2, it's all about how you do here at PGC. So
Yo
really
creo
the whole
que
year
eso es de los
set you up for this
items,
first circuit,
algo así.
and then from then on it's kind of clean slate.
Yeah, that's where the true advantage of doing well for the PGS points will come into play for that first 3 days. If you're 5th through 8th in PGS points, you get to start on day 2. If you are 1st through 4th, we know those names. The likes of Twisted Minds, Sonics are up there as well. They are going to be able to start in that final day. From then on, circuits 2 and 3, it's based off the previous circuit's rankings. So easy peasy to figure out. Only points from the circuit final will count towards getting through into that
debería ser mañana, algo así, el día 2 del circuito 1, porque esto es el circuito 1, pero como de la tercera fase del torneo, ¿no? O sea, porque ha sido súper largo el torneo, en verdad. Bueno, para comentar que dura desde hoy, el 9 hasta el 22, ¿no? Entonces, esto es ya la final stage del torneo.
$500,000 plus crowdfunding, of course. You'll need to crown yourself as champion, but every team does not walk away empty-handed. You've got yourself all the way down to 24th. You're still getting yourself 10,000 for just being here. But of course, everyone's looking at least that top 16, at least trying to challenge.
El segundo se lleva 150.
Jump on cash when you move out of that top 6 is huge, right? It's a consolation prize to be out the bottom. You make the biggest show in the world, you don't want to walk away with $10,000. There's no bragging rights to that.
Sí, mañana es el día 2 y la final del circuito 1 el 11,
I mean, yeah, of course, when we go to day 2 in the final, yeah, some of the big dogs there. But you've literally got PGC champions starting things in day 1 toppies.
You know, but part of that is because it's been such a wild ride the last couple of years for some of our PGC champions. But we also have like our host team, SGD, right? What are they going to do? I have no idea. I think we're going to have a lot of fun at the beginning.
It really is a true wild card for me, right? Like, deeply. Waters against some of these players aren't unfamiliar with international waters. However, going up against some of these teams I think might be difficult for them, considering down there. You've got starting 1.
This is a great. They've claimed it for as we go. Make sure not
to do that. And FaZe Clan's name is synonymous with that tournament, not for the most amazing reasons initially, but it was destiny.
It was destiny. It was destiny for some of these other players.
This is what I love.
PGC is not just about winning the biggest tournament of the year.
Aquí hay como una presentación, ¿no?
Good word that we are almost ready for the start here, so we can talk about all the teams.
It
is time to get PGC 2024 underway. We have excellent action, wall to wall. Who is going to be our world champion?
Sí, como un estilo de carácter ahí super edited. Chuyopi. Está genial este video. Está medio largo. Tal vez fueron los Champions del año pasado, ¿no? No sé en verdad quiénes son estos dos. Tal vez los hicieron al John Motion. No se veían players así medio... Y esos 4 por aquí. Y bueno, aquí se ve una presentación bien chévere. Pero dura como 10 minutos, ¿no? En verdad quería ver la match. Aunque esto medio vale la pena.
Welcome to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. A year of PUBG esports has led up to this very moment. The finale, the PUBG Global Championship. Over the course of its illustrious history, only 4 teams have been able to raise the trophy. Now here in 2024, though, the throne lays bare.
We want to see the match.
We are in the Twisted era, and Twisted Minds has already staked their claim, having already chosen to win themselves 3 PGSs in a row in 2024. They are the uncrowned kings. However, in the wings lays 23 usurpers who will fight to the very last man in order to be able to etch their names in history and claim themselves a world championship. Over the course of the next few weeks, we will have 3 grueling circuit stages. You get to the final of a circuit stage, and then you gain enough points to qualify through into the PGC Grand Finals for the opportunity to strike out at the lion's share of $1.5 million plus crowdfunding prize pool and the chance to call yourselves world
crowdfund,
champion. Well, without further ado, let's get PGC 2024 started.
Ya dio más de $200,000, porque ellos dicen que es $1,5 millones, pero ya dio más de $200,000 en skins y ventas de la Champions. Y lo pusieron como eslogan Rule the Ground por ahí. Y después parecía que eran los del videito, ¿no? La presentación. Como
North Rex with a FAMAS. We'll get one, we'll get two.
They have played lights out and they do it.
Two Air Falcons have set up with the folded shields, but perfecting. That's the championship
Está buena
mentality.
aquí la spectator camera, ¿no? Sí, no es para nada como estar en medio del juego porque se va así a través de las paredes y todo eso, ¿no? No va entendiendo como 3 veces más ahí de cómo va la máquina. Bueno, este como es que decía por ahí match 1. Un segundo videito de
Introducing your PUBG Global Championship 2024 competitors. Qualifying as the highest finishing Malaysian team of the year, we have Shrougadui.
¿Cómo decías que se llamaba? Ahí. Yo me pregunto es qué tanto los ponen a jugar ahí en el escenario, ¿no? Yo me imagino que es esta como final stage de la tournament. Antes era como por online, no para clasificarse. ¿Qué tal?
From the future!
A kind of gaming.
From EMEA, we have Eternal Fire! BB Team!
Sí, esto era lo que quería ver también en la presentación de los clubs ahí. Supuestamente eran como 16 teams, algo así, ¿no? 20 teams.
From China,
son unos cuantos dándole play ahí. Full speed.
PGC 2021 champions, NAG Sports.
Parece ser China, algo así.
Weibo Gaming.
Si no lo ponen, aquí abajo está.
4 AM. From the Americas, Team Falcons.
Esperando aquí de Estados Unidos.
Luna Galaxy.
¿Dónde serán estos? Pero más latino.
From South Korea, Kwangdong Freaks. T1.
Estamos a favor de esos dudes entonces. Son más latinos. Bueno, que tan latinos son, ¿no? Que sea América.
PGC 2019 champions, Genji. And qualifying on from PGS points, our 8th seed, it's FaZe Clan.
Suecia.
Our 7th seed, Petrichor Road.
No, como un mix ese team, ¿no?
6th seed and PGC 2022 champions, it's Na'Vi.
Our 5th seed, it's TSM.
Sí, estaban diciendo algo sobre eso, eran como unos equipos medio raros, ¿no? Son como independientes, algo así. Entiendo muy bien.
Third seed and PGS3 champions, Cerberus Esports.
Sí, los van nombrando por país, pero no dicen cuántos equipos ya van, ¿no? Ya van como 15.
First seed and 3 times PGS champion, Twisted Minds.
Estos tenían buenos puntos. Eran el primer punto en la gaming de votaciones, ¿no?
Now let's get into the action and get PGC 2024 underway.
Que iban como de favoritos para ganar, pues. Las apuestas estaban a favor de ellos.
제가 데뷔를 한 지 얼마 안 됐을 때는 제 꿈이었고, 그리고 중간쯤 됐을 때는 희망이었고, 그리고 지금 와서는 증명을 하는 자리라고 생각합니다. PGC의 첫 챔피언, 저희가 잃어버린 왕관을 다시 되찾고 한국이 세계 최고임을 증명하겠습니다. I mean, it feels really good. Obviously, we qualified because of another team's performance, but that's just how it is, and we're going to make the best out of it. We haven't been in the spotlight, we've been in the shadows. Underestimate us at your own risk, and we're coming for the top.
สำหรับผม PGC เป็นทัวร์ที่ใหญ่ที่สุดเลยครับแล้วก็เราทำมาทั้งปี
Sí, yo dije que duraba como 10 minutos esta parte.
ค่อนข้างดีก็มีสิทธิ์ที่จะเป็นแชมป์สูงครับแล้วก็ถ้าเห็นว่าใช้ลงทุนคิวเมื่อไหร่ก็
unos 5
จะได้รับ
minutos
แชมเปี้ยน
para que comiencen a jugar.
PGC 对我的意义就是
Son los panas diciendo algo ahí.
就刚打这个游戏开始到现在一直都想要拿到一个成绩，每一次挫折都让我们更坚定，我要在 PGC 里留下我们的印子，无怨无悔，只有不懈追求。
PGC means a lot to us this year. We need to end it strong and show to our fans that we belong at the top. Like, we are an inconsistent team, but on our day we can easily beat these teams.
我还是蛮有信心的，毕竟就是5、6之后就是休息的也蛮长一段时间了嘛，然后我觉得我们调整的还是可以的。有的时候我感觉我们打短赛制的那种赛程就可能没发挥的之际了，但是如果就是让我们找到状态，其实我们还是很有竞争力的。
Ніяк не вплинули результати PGC. Ми повернулися до старих стратегій, змінили споти на старі, та я вважаю, що ми виступимо гарніше, ніж на PGC. Ціль – це виграти всі турніри за рік і виграти 3 глобали підряд.
작년 2023년 PGC는 진짜 경험을 떠나서 제 삶에 잊지 못한 짜릿함이었던 것 같고요. 이번 연도에도 그런 경험을 좀 겪을 수 있으면 좋겠다라는 생각이 드는 것 같습니다.
A lot of the community, they like to talk about this thing called the Sonics money buff, where the bigger the prize pool is, usually the better we play. That hasn't been true exactly for PGCs recently because plethora of reasons, but this PGC we're looking to change that. PGC to me feels like the last Infinity Stone on my gauntlet at PGS.
Yo vi un videito de este dude, está medio de portada en la página del PUBG en la red, ¿no? Haciendo como unas declaraciones ahí, una experiencia y eso.
trophy's a trophy for me, and I just want to lift one.
PGC là giải đấu cuối cùng của năm và đó chính là nó khá là ý nghĩa với em vì đây là giải đấu cuối năm rồi nên là bọn em sẽ chấp sức hết mình để giành lấy chức vô địch để cuối năm ăn Tết trong tụi mình hôm nay đợi chiến thắng và các team còn lại hay cả từng đội bộ mình về bọn mình sẽ lấy hết tất cả các mũ của các team còn lại.
我觉得今年 PGC 我们17最有竞争力，其他队不行。我们知道我们可以拿过成绩。Case 是一个很强大的对手，但是我觉得我们比他们更强。
I think all this year pretty successful. We won 3 PGS tournaments. I expect all of the teams to be our opponents. It's Twisted Minds against the whole world.
Hello, PUBG esports fans, and welcome to PGC 2024, kicking off circuit number 1. Matchroom Paper Thin going to be taking you through the action today as we have a whole new way to qualify for the grand finals at PGC, and this is going to be a really fun way to kick off everything as we're going to have pretty much a competition to not end up in the bottom 4.
Yeah, that's really all you're looking to do here for these first couple days of the circuit is to get top 12, move on to that final day of the circuit 3, and that's where you can get your points to get yourself into the grand finals. So here for today, it's all about survival. It's all about getting that, maybe that just that one big game or averaging 3 or 4 points per game. That's probably all you're going to need to do to get to the top 12.
And this is really interesting because we've never really seen this group of teams competing against each other. Sometimes we'll see it in the last chance qualifiers, but as we see these bottom 4 teams drop off, they're going to have a new set of the 4 next strongest teams enter. So transfer a couple of options.
Why? Thing out because down the above.
This game is very much a really start setting not getting ready to go into Aaron Geller.
That maybe we haven't got to see a lot this year at the global level, right? You think back to, VP, who had to get to see SGD. These are going to be pretty fine who used to skill
doing the path through the museum, seeing everything that's led to this across the years, but
it's a maybe happen. But you got 2 go there 7.
This is too many early casual. It should be
both instead to necessarily go up to Gatka. They want to rumble.
Oh, it's Spindle's going to be taking some shots over Barpo. You can spot him out.
Go up to Gak Camp, but some of the other teams absolutely. Oh, we are going to dust up here. Falcons to necessarily bridge camp, but some of the other teams absolutely. Oh, we are going to dust up here. Matt, both teams have showed up to Gatka. They want to rumble.
Oh, Expendable's going to be taking some shots over Barpo, who's going to spot him out, but it's going to be a quick collapse. Everybody going to be fighting over Gatka of all places. This is the new hotspot, and it is going to be one of the focus areas you had your eyes set on. We still do end up getting it, but look at Gen G. Already making the push around, and they're going to be moving right into Clora's position, but he's got a nade prepped and ready to drop right down that stairwell.
Yeah, good ears here for Gen G. They heard that coming before the grenade was out, so they just decided to back off a little bit. Have to be really careful of those angles outside of the building. Some more nades being thrown downstairs to just keep Gen G at bay. Try and get some reinforcements, get some nades in to try to protect Glory. He's got an M4 as well upstairs, so can lock it down pretty nicely. Gen G's got some dangerous up close and personal weaponry as well. Able to knock Doan off that roof. That roof a really powerful point here in Gatka. You can control a lot of space from up there, so Gen G will at least clear it for now.
Duckjuice hasn't managed to regroup with the rest of the squad yet, but it is going to be Gen G holding the northern section of Gatka. Duckjuice can come in from the south, maybe kind of regroup along that pathing, but it's kind of stalled out right now. You can see just due to weapons and the way everything's set up, Gen G doesn't have the tools that they really want to execute up. I mean, rocking a VSS to make a push up a stairwell is not necessarily what you want to do.
Yeah, you know what, you say that, you could put the VSS in full auto, but yeah, it's not as good as some guns for sure. And look at Duckjuice down at the bottom of the map there. He is slowly creeping in to try to find a flank onto Gen G. Barpo playing anchor, but are they going to be aware? Delwyn holding this angle might have an opportunity if Barpo goes up on that roof.
I mean, this is big if they can take out anybody going over there, but it's going to be Adder that does go down. Duckjuice does reveal himself back behind. Rex tries to spin back around. Caloris is going to find Tosi as well. Now Rex trying to fend up. Lots of damage. He's going to go down. Gen G in trouble. Barpo just having to run and leave his teammates behind.
Yeah, this is a tough fight for Gen G. The Expendables are so talented. When it comes to scrappy fights, there is no team I thought this year at the PGSs that scrapped more than them. I mean, they just love to fight. You know, we saw that wild finish in PGS 5. Barpo all alone trying to find that angle. Doesn't really do much there. Has that Panzer. Could be devastating if TE kind of overcommits.
Waiting to see if anybody's going to make the approach. You can see he's trying to figure out which way he should be looking first. If he can get a knock, maybe at least get a point, get something back, maybe go for the flush. Every single point in this qualification series is going to be so vital. Stepping in, can hear it. They know that they're dancing right around the outside. Goes for the peek round, does not spot it. Got baited by the footsteps, and it is slow and steady. TE has no big need to go for a step in, but big shot going to come out. Gets the knock, but does not get the kill.
Yeah, that was really well played there by the Expendables at the end, being extremely cautious, clearing space with grenades, kind of by process of elimination had a pretty good idea of where Barpo was. And even though, yeah, sure, Barpo's got a Panzer, they don't give him anything other than the knock. Just ran right in there. And really nice maneuver by them. T1, in the meanwhile, did make the move over the bridge. So they're going to be heading up towards that shelter area. Haven't quite got there just yet. Going to have to take their time. Really curious to see how deep they want to go. A lot of teams already trying to center up as close as they can toward that shelter, sort of esports Hall of Fame area.
Tiamba setting up, I guess, a loose bridge camp. I don't know if this is a firm committal, but Pal Pal is just going to be right there underneath of the bridge. Looks like 4 Angry Men, maybe seeing if they can vaunt their way in. But there's a bit of a logjam down here, as we do have VP that's just going to be the west of this. Luna Galaxy is just going to be the south. And Tiamba kind of separated out in between a lot of this, so no firm commitment into this defense. But, I mean, I think that they're just trying to get whatever they can here, or at least hunker down and try to dodge what's going on with 4 Angry Men.
梨树要发财了！
Exacto, team, y aquí está la otra side, ¿no?
双向，右边就有一个来了，就是你连打带补有机会吗？没机会，还要再打一个。
投掷手雷往这个厕所里一炸，直接双响。
哎呦，这个林树这个位置操的真的好，直接打2个特征，林树。这里肯定要先补掉了。来了，我要做那个左右胜负的男人。
Sí. Esta fue la final.
Oh, Pal Pal making some big plays there. Finally does get knocked. It's going to be HS realizing what's going on back behind the 4 Angry Men. Having to deal with 1 member down right now, but looks like they have managed to navigate as the rest of the members for 4 Angry Men are going to be making their way.
Tal vez eran como las finales del campeonato pasado, algo así. Decía que era la match 18.
So he wasn't able to get the bullets back into that pump in time and try to prone to save himself. But there's a lot of teams. This is something I've been really keen on the map with, is there's about 4 teams in this vicinity around the easternmost bridge. And with 1 player already down, you know, a lot of those other teams are going to be trying to find some value out of this situation. He'll confirm they have find some kind of
making Tiamba, but to made it more complicated for Virtus Pro. They've got 2 members that are just to the south. You can see trying to dodge away from this position. It's jet led to dust them. They have to try to retreat from this.
5 PGCs. This is the 5th one. You and I have been together for 5. Nice to see Ibiza back. Some really good players on this.
8 minutos, lo voy a poner como
more of a push coming up.
20 minutos.
Wait until you know there's only 1 team or maybe a team and a half that are left in the battle, and then you can find your opportunity to strike. And that's what Luna did. You know, they went out to that eastern side of the bridge on Gekka, or excuse me.
Be hazardous, but there's just no options back behind it. You can see it's going to be SGD trying to hold back BB, but it's just a bloodbath.
Sí, quedan 10 teams, 9 teams.
By himself, a couple grenades and a P90, absolutely decimating that TIE squad. Over towards Vestalock, trying to keep SGD pinned down behind their vehicles. They've already got some knocks. You can see Mings in the background there.
And a new competitor approaches. It's going to be Falcons being shot by.
Because EF has control of a compound, it's basically forcing everyone to fight on these edges. We talked about it earlier. There's so much open space in this circle. Makes it really hard to do much inside of this current circle. So again, all these teams know the situation. They know what's up, and they want to fight on these edges. They want to find those moments where you're going to catch your opponents in a worse situation in terms of angles, in terms of kind of opportunities, guns that are available to bear down on them. T1 did get their res, and now they got to make a move.
Ooh, everybody with eyes on the idea of getting a couple more kills, way better than trying to run into a dangerous spot inside the circle. T1 trying to creep forward, but they're not even inside the circle yet. Freaks, step away. They've got their eyes right in the center of the northern section of the circle, and that's going to kind of keep out Falcons, the position that they were trying to play from. But now everybody's starting to move into eternal fire sight lines. So, Freaks do manage to make it inside the circle right now with just having Bean back behind him. T1 trying to use that opportunity to creep forward. New Happy looks like they might be trying to exploit that. They're trying to wrap in. It looks like they just might be rolling into the north a bit. Looks like they sent at least one member up there. T1 is just entirely gate kept out, but that also means that New Happy can't make any moves.
It is kind of mutually assured destruction, but again, you got to look for those points. You got to look for those kills as best as you can. T1, still a few smokes in the bag. The benefit of being able to hang out on that eastern edge with some compounds available to you is that you're going to have a little bit extra utility. That's going to be Rern taking that kill from Salute. Fuming actually going to get flood. Falcons eliminated. They do get some points, but it's just placement points for them.
Absolutely crazy start to this game, but we've got a 4-man strong squad all the way across all 4 teams. So, Eternal Fire, yes, they do have the compound to work with right now, but they still have a couple circles to work with, so we'll have to see if they keep getting that circle love or not. T1 has had no circle love, and they're getting no love except from everybody inside this circle. Everybody's just going to donate a couple of bullets over there. T1 drop them right on top of their heads for
Está super close la cosa, no tanto, ¿no? El mapa se ve super open map, pero como
it's go all over to New Happy, who've now revealed themselves to Eternal Fire.
20 players.
Eternal Fire now having to deal with problem. Salute has gotten so close to them.
Do they know? Do they know? There's just enough of a hill in the way. He's looking for the finish. Ming Ming's got code barcode down as well. So it's a crossfire here.
Freaks! Oh! They're sending it in. They're just jumping into vehicles. They're just going to go ahead and harass this down. Rolling straight in. Rern's going to go for a couple of shots. Do manage to get the knock on one. But look, it's Freaks finding multiple angles of approach. Eternal Fire goes down.
Heaven swings in and sends EM out of this lobby. Unbelievable stuff. But now New Happy has a great opportunity to win this game.
Creeps back over. How are they going to play around this one? It's going to be full-on fortified cover right now for the Freaks to work with, but they did lose Salute for the problem. Now, that means that man advantage is going to go over to New Happy as they're going to be approaching in. Right now, they've got themselves a couple of cover pieces to play from. Do have themselves a crate as well. It's one of their cover pieces to play. But notice that they've gone into a 2-1-1 split with New Happy. They are just trying to contain Freaks. Freaks have to bring that magic back that they just brought a second ago and get a couple of knocks if they want to have a chance here.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, they've got a Dragunov in the mix. That is definitely a gun that can be a game changer in situations like this. That one-tap headshot make all the difference in the world, except there's some level 3 helmets floating around. Ming Ming's got one, and he's going to try to find that flank angle. So it's just going to be a collapse onto this compound, a surround of the position that the Freaks are trying to maintain. A little bit of damage done into Ming Ming. That was dangerously close. That level 3 gear worth its weight in gold.
Evanson on 5 kills right now, had the opportunity, but just couldn't get that last couple of shots in. Meanwhile, New Happy
se vinieron los dos de diferentes lugares,
coming up their way. Circle is collapsing in, but the pacing slowing back down.
Pero creo que si están los 4 vivos de
Freaks made it look easy, but it is difficult. Nobody from New Happy wants to overextend. They know that they've got the tempo in the game, so instead, just see if they can find a knock, find something else to turn this around. Don't be too greedy. We talked about how important it was momentum starting off this circuit series. Walking away with a high kill win is everything that New Happy wants, and they do not want to risk it.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a really, really good start. And New Happy, one of the teams I was really looking at for this first circuit, because they're going to get all their drops. They're going to be playing from comfort. They've got some great players. You know, the Freaks as well. They're kill hungry. We've known that from watching them throughout this year. And a little bit of a jump peek gets punished by Ming Ming. Damage done. Some return fire on to Non. But New Happy's going to be content to just kind of tighten the noose here onto the Freaks.
I mean, just buy every couple of meters that they can. Creep forward here or there. You don't have to make it too risky. Every single time you hit some damage, step in. Buy a couple more meters. Creep along. Exactly what we see coming over here. Just kind of sneak your way up right next to that tree. Buy yourself more and more firing lines. That's with the way that this circle is lined up. Freaks, you're in so much trouble. You're not inside the next circle. That they do manage to get a knock. Heaven coming up yet again. Looks like he's going to push that up to 6 kills. And now has bought himself an angle to play from and really see if he can reverse this containment that we saw New Happy trying to bring.
That was the trap that New Happy was trying to set up, but it's sniffed out here by the Guangdong Freaks. Now Ming Ming looking for that angle. Gonna catch Qming going behind, but has to be extremely careful. Couple good shots from that Dragunov could put another member of New Happy down. Xiaozi, no real hope of rescuing him. So now you've just got to try to keep this man advantage. 3 versus 2.
Oh, Heaven wants it so bad, but he cannot creep out just quite yet. You can see that he's very hesitant of that side angle. Going to go for a couple of nades, getting closer. Non's going to be going, trying to see if he can sneak into the center of the circle, get control over it. He's got himself vehicle fortification to work well as a car. I mean, as well as a tree to play from around that. So let's see if we can see Heaven. Can he make the magic happen again? Can he find the angle to work with? He knows exactly where Non is. Gonna go with the nade, but it's already taken some damage. Doesn't want to
terminar de darles kills ahí
they know that they gotta slow
una
it down, but they do not have the time. Only 40 seconds to find some space to play from.
Porque ahí que estaba gateando, lo podía terminar de dar down a ese player, pero estaba esperando como que viniera el team, ¿no?
And look, you can see that's going to be Happy trying to recover. They do not want to lose that member. That's going to buy new space to work with. Heaven's going to step forward. He knows that he can creep a bit more out of it. He's going to be a bit more aggressive. Going with the nade. How's it going to roll? Bounce is going to go right up underneath the car. Does, man. Go for the plug. But Ming punishes it.
Huge moment there from Ming, but only has 28 HP. Stuns around. Gyumin trying to find the off angle, but he's got it.
Picks it up, and now we're down to a 1v1. Playing alongside of it. Human trying to go for this. Cindy to find some type of way to play around. There's not much cover to be had, and he's got a down member directly in front of him, feeding over the information. One member up on New Happy's side, got more control over the circle in and of itself, so that means all pressure's going to be going back to Human. He's got to fight his way. He's got to get the knock if he wants to work through it. Now, playing along the smokes, using the smoke wall that is established, bouncing from tree to tree to see if he can find some type of sneaky angle to open this one back up in his favor.
Yeah, he did get a brief spot onto AZ. Gonna let loose with the frag. If it's on point, it could be the end, but AZ, wise to it, backsteps.
Smoke's getting closer and closer, and now all vision's going away. Human's just trying to fight his way into this one and has managed to creep in slow and steady. Blue zone nade, now forcing AZ further and further away from it. Human hasn't managed to get enough information to know exactly where to go for his sprays, but he's got a decent idea spot out the car. Gonna move back over AZ in full defense right now. Got to be careful as Human. He's managed to get about 100 meters out of this where he was pretty much trapped. Now Shot's going to reveal, knows exactly where each other are now, has to step away.
He has no more smokes. He's going to have to light him up with the Dragonov, trying to just peek through that fire.
Más que nada están ahí tranquilos porque está la safe zone, ¿no?
It's AZ with full-on protected cover, but AZ can't go for a peek. He doesn't know exactly where he is. And every single time it goes, it gets punished. And oh my God, the Freaks managed to buy it back. Human coming up big.
Unbelievable
Sí, los que
maintain control of the north part of the circle and find their moment to take what looked like assured, guaranteed wins from EF and New Happy. Insane stuff from them.
Okay. If this is how we're going to kick off everything, I am excited. We saw
como por puntos también, ¿no?
Circles, I mean, disadvantaged firefights, and this comes off with the Freaks making a push into Eternal Fire into Alamo, which we always talk about as how hard it is to assault. That is just so cleanly played.
The utility by the Freaks, and the fact that they're able to pick up more off the bodies of EF and then snowball that into the win. The way they did that was perfect.
I mean, there is just so much pressure to be had, and they managed to fight their way through the whole thing. I know that there's going to be a ton for our analyst desk to break down inside that last game.
Yo estaba viendo la forma de puntuación ahí, se veía medio rara, ¿no? Porque era como por kills, la forma de kills, me imagino, que headshots les da unos ciertos puntos más. Algo así estaba entendiendo, yo terminé de ver mucho eso. One minute. Esta es como la presentación. A ver qué. Continuamos más o menos por aquí.
Well, welcome to PGC 2024. What a game to start things off. And Guangdong Freaks with a breathtaking recovery coming out against New Happy.
It was the way that you want to start PGC.
Oh yeah.
Crazy knocks from the start of the game to an awesome 1v1 to end this thing. I didn't think there was a chance were made here.
Associate with the usual victory, because that top 12 already from them. I mean, yes,
it absolutely was, and I think what to be not shocked for fans at the very end of it, that was awesome.
Right? Today, number
for New Happy, because there was a point there when they spread out around that circle, there was greed, there was hunger, and there just
the pro here about that not getting the victory, still a big majority
played that, right? The fact though was Human did stuff like relocate after that first knock when he went off and fought Ming and then relocated to the other side. I'm like, why are you moving right now? It's because he had so much utility in his pockets.
It will be 15 going the way of Guangdong Freaks. NHG Sports gets themselves 9 and the Expendables once again here with 7. I say once again because we watched throughout PGS 6 as teams like the Expendables, teams like Day Trade,
pero
teams
sí,
like all
van
of these teams from
contando todo
APAC
eso, ¿no?
eventually getting themselves
Gastaron
so
unas
much more
16
fortitude in these
smoke,
games, being able to be
unas
constantly
18
consistent. And the
grenades.
Expendables one was not
Por ahí como
surprised
que
us,
una, creo
but
que
just
eran las
impressed us
kills.
throughout the PGS runs.
You know what, Expendables,
Sí,
expect to see
muy
them do
bien.
well for the next 2 days. They are group stage
Con las
heroes and have been for a
granadas
while now.
efectivas,
The question is
algo
what
así.
happens when they get to the finals, which I think they will be at. Just like KDF
¿Cuántos
will
kills
definitely, I
hicieron
think, be
cada
in the finals here
uno?
this weekend. Just off the back of the kills alone, they're going to be in a great position.
Yeah, almost
Y
1,000
Stefano no hizo ni
damage
un
coming
kill,
in from
¿no?
Heaven as well. Heaven, happily and coincidentally, was in Heaven for a lot of this game, so I'm happy to see that, as their split really afforded them great wealth of options to make movement happen, right? The circle shifts south of Heaven, in Heaven,
Sí, está
and that is
interesante
a
eso.
terrifying circle to have to deal with. You saw as Falcons tries to crash in, and Heaven
Esto
will
sí
be
te lo dan ahí en las matches. Cada vez que juegas,
6 kills there, but I do
están
think it came
poniendo
down to the
esto
adjustments, the fact that that area is
como
wide
una
open. I mean,
verdad
like,
ahí.
Falcons was a great example. There just was nothing available if you weren't sitting in Alamo or had one of the few little trenches that were open.
Yeah, crash the rock, try to cause them there. But as soon as smokes expend and things like that, then you know that you're probably going to be open to some of the angles there here. So great stuff here by Kwangdong Freaks to start.
No decía, era como que creo que era el shooting.
New Happy get themselves 15, the Expendables get 9.
Creo que ese
Eternal Fire was definitely
34%,
present
pero
throughout quite
hizo
a bit
unos
of this.
buenos
Not too many
kills,
kills going their way, but they knew where to
cuento.
be kind of pitching upon.
Supuestamente yo iba por este que quedó
This is going to work for them the way this format is designed. I think Eternal Fire is going to thrive within this format. But I think Kwangdong Freaks, I love that they came out, they played a smash game, they were willing to go crazy, and I also love when I get to see Human and Heaven working together. I mean, they've been together for so long as kind of a duo, traveling through PUBG esports, so when you get to see them sort of playing these games so well, it's always exciting. So love to see that. Expendables, again, lots of action, lot of a shock. I wanted to see a little more out of Gen G starting off. They got a hot drop right out of the gate up against the Expendables, not optimal.
Tienen unas siguientes matches que deben ser con estos mismos claro. Sí, decía que eran como 6 matches en diferentes mapas.
Not much.
Not much.
Lo que yo me estaba preguntando era este team de que el logo era como un cerebrito. Ahí no se veía, ¿no? No entendí eso, la verdad no cambió el logo, algo así.
He has going to kill himself when he does it, right? So it was a great trade out, but as Gen G got,
you were given a whole. We wanted to
start strong to get to the end. For us, is I think on a aggressive, and I think benefit to some of our other teams are playing a little more passive in 1 through 3. They're just going for those total
cámaras. Parecen entre cámaras.
Okupa hand warmers here to get ready to get into this next game. So nice to see here. For Weibo, I like watching them play as well. Obviously, we didn't get to see them at PGS 5 and 6. We did through PGS 3 and 4. And they're technically a team that I think can be explosive. And we did see that, some of that in PGS 3 and 4. But they've just not really been present internationally yet. So we'll see if they can kind of refine that as time goes on. Just a bit of time before we get into our next Erangel. Who else would you like to focus on? You're not allowed to pick Lunar Galaxy, even though they got 5 kills in the
fair enough. So we've talked about some bad, we've talked about some good. Let's go back to some rough, and that's 4 Angry Men. Okay, right out of the gate, we saw God V get knocked by the car. Then we saw the fight on the bridge. But it's one of those things too, where God V, he didn't play in PGS 5 and 6, but their results were exactly the same as PGS 3 and 4 when he did play. So he's back on the roster right now. They're starting a little bit slow, but 4AM, to be blunt, they haven't been top 10 at a global since PGIS 2021. So this is one of those things where I need to see them start to do something now if they're going to go into the end game here at PGC.
I will echo that. I had concerns when I heard he was back on the roster after what they were able to try and pitch up when it came to PGS 5 and 6, but let's get to it.
Let's do it.
Game number 2 here of PGC, day 1 of Circuit 1. Let's go to the commentators.
Man, if that first plane path was really far to the south and just had no north-south to it at all, well, this time we're just going to go due south all the way up to the north. Everything's back on the table.
Yeah, we are in a different direction for sure, pretty much perpendicular to our previous plane path. So a lot more opportunity maybe for these hot drops to manifest a little bit quicker. We'll have to wait and see. But Gen G already out early. They're going to go for their alt drop of Novo. I think already with 0 points in that first game, Gen G has realized that when it comes to that particular situation, maybe the Expendables have the better of them at Gatka. Plus, it's going to be another reach for them just to even get there again. And I think for Gen G, this is, definitely the better decision because, spoiler alert, they might have some more hot drops to contest with on other maps.
Yeah, and I mean, the desk was talking about the Expendables, not afraid to scrap early and the capabilities of what they're trying to do. So, I mean, if anything, just getting that bit of earlier tempo has now made it to where Gen G has to play reactionary. We talked about the importance of momentum in this series because it's essentially a best of 6 every single day, right? So Gen G took it on the teeth inside that first game. They now have to modify. They have to go back. They have to start being a bit more salvage.
Meanwhile,
on the opposing side of that,
por el drop de los teams está súper divertido.
Well, now we get a
Sí,
look
terminaron
at
cayendo
a somewhat
todos
similar
en el,
start. This one,
en
though,
el safe zone, ¿no? Se vino solo una team.
By the mansion area once
Aquí
again.
en la militar base,
A different look, we'll have to wait and see, but
en la parte de abajo del mapa,
is driving just
no, todos los como amarillitos, nadie quiso lanzarse de ese lado.
Gonna reach out pretty far, looking towards north.
Le salió chévere eso.
Their landing spot. That's what I think.
They've got their arrows pointing straight at Zarky.
I mean,
it's got to be a wrap.
We could hope.
Right? I mean, I'll take any excuse I can see to see Zarky.
Correct, yes.
But I think that you're right. I think that they're just kind of wrapping away from Tiamba, but man can dream.
I know that you get a little excited. You see Zarky, and you think maybe someday.
Look, I'm a simple man, dude. I just like I like Zarky games. We never get them, so anything spicy. And yeah, they are going to wrap it down to Georgia Pole, so by the base in that. And now the Expendables get all of the pleasure from all of the fighting that they managed to do to get Gatka. It's such an interesting place to have hot drop contention for, but it's good.
It's basically your backup option if you're a team that likes to drop in the center of the map, like Picado, Pachingi, those kind of things. But we've got an interview here with a member of BB.
It's gonna be kind of chaos in the lobby because the top teams usually playing by, I mean, they have some strategy, but the teams who came to the day one, they gonna took the spots of the top teams and play from not their spots. So yeah, it's gonna be chaos in the lobby. I think the format is good for the teams also who not is starting from the third day. They have more games to play in LAN, and it's a kind of warm up for them. It's really important to qualify for the third day of circuit because you're getting points for the finals of PGC here. So I think every day is important, but third day is the most important one.
Thank you, Aduzi, for reminding us the importance of how this whole series is going to go. Circuit 1, remember the fact that the bottom 4 teams today are not going to be playing for tomorrow or the day after that, and then we're going to have 4 new squads join. It's going to go off the hierarchy of points managed and qualified through here. So it means the fact that it's going to be kind of like he was talking about, a bit chaotic off of the start. But I mean, if anything, it just felt like we had a lot of metal rise to the top. Freaks they fought that one tooth and nail, and yeah, there was some chaos, but it was just clinically played. And I don't know, Posa, you want to get anywhere near this man right now, that's going to be another one going over to the Freaks, as it just feels nigh unstoppable. 26 points.
Salute feels unstoppable right now. What is that? Is his 6th, 7th kill, something like that so far today? I mean,
it was Heaven that was popping off too.
Heaven had a huge game as well. I mean, what did it end up being? 12 kills, 13 kills total for the Freaks in that last game? 15. Absolutely bonkers. I mean, this is a team that I had pretty high hopes for because when you looked at this year and you looked at the PGC, 2023 champions and Dalawa kind of falling apart, scattering to the wind, what was it going to look like for the PWS? What was it going to look like for Korea? And this team had the highest hopes. I mean, you got a tremendous amount of firepower. Like you said, Heaven, absolutely insane. Salute, absolutely insane. Being a very solid player. Yumin, a solid IGL. But you can see that when they're at their best, when they're playing confident, when they're playing smart, they are going to run other teams over.
I feel so bad for them. They played that very well at that end game. They knew exactly what they needed to do. Yeah, it was a bit greedy to hold that many different angles and provide the 1v1s, but that's what you want to do, is you want to try to contain in there. There's just no cover to really maneuver through those different positions. So it just turned into a lot of 1v1s where Freaks managed to get the better side of that one, and that's just good gameplay and understanding how you need to navigate through. And this is a squad I know you've been talking about. We've all had hopes for the Freaks. yes, this is a weaker lobby, but at least walking out and as technically clean as they did against New Happy, which is a strong team in and of themselves, shows great promise for this PGC.
I fully agree with you. I mean, it's a team that hasn't really done much at internationals this year. They'll kind of give you glimpses of brilliance.
They'll tease us.
Exactly. They'll tease you, but they really won't kind of blow the doors off of teams like we saw in the PWS once they kind of got their kind of system together, got all the pieces in place. You know, the beginning of the year was a little bit for the follow-up, and it bounces, just catches enough of Snakers in the back. Raylo trying to hold the line, gets some damage into the Kraken, but there's a blue zone here.
Oh, barely stepped away from that angle. Luna Galaxy knows they've got to finish this quickly. So Molotov going to land right next to Raylo. He didn't even have an idea that that one's coming. Going to have no life to work with. The rest of Luna Galaxy coming in, but does have some type of defense. Smoke's going to be down. Spray's coming out. He's ninjing around inside of here right now. Luna Galaxy can't wait too long on this. Yeah, you're going to go ahead and step around, try to get the flushes out, but they have no idea on where he's hiding at. It's going to buy him the time to get his meds back into a better position. Can he find a way to at least get some retaliation points back into this in some fashion? No! He's going to get spotted. Luna Galaxy, though, comes at a big cost. Blue zone's right on top of him. And now they have to move into the circle where we already can see Weibo as well as 4 Angry Men defending.
I love the way that Luna Galaxy has come into today, the mindset they have to find these opportunistic moments. I mean, just a lot of confidence that they're showing, really good understanding, situational awareness has been off the charts so far today. I know it's only 2 games in, but it's looking really good.
They're a smart squad, but sometimes could play a bit passive in the mid-game, and this time they're not doing it. They know the fact that they've got to make the points happen and going to jump after it. Gen G looking like they're still trying to line up against FTF, but, I mean, it's kind of back and forth. Nobody really getting much out of this. Nobody wanting to step in. Finally, it's going to be Tosi picking off Happy, getting the flush into it, and now in the future, what are you going to do? You don't have a lot of options to work with. Genji's kind of corralled you in. Luna Galaxy is going to go down, but that's the cost. How long it took to fight the Falcons.
FTF couldn't find a grenade. Trade there. Well, it's actually Heaven getting involved. TE as well. Finding some big damage on Tiamo. The grenade finishes the job. A little help from the Freaks. And TE lived to fight another day.
Sí, hicieron unos 11 puntos.
Oh, I spoke too soon, maybe.
Yeah, no, they're like, no, you just keep moving into that sight line. I love it. Just keep on giving me a bit more. Freaks, though, don't want to make a path over there because they're aware that there's a problem that could be happening with BB Team. New Happy kind of defended up. Going to have to deal with Delwyn that's kind of creeping back behind him. It looks like he's got his eyes set more in BB's line. Meanwhile, having a test over, realizing that Freaks are going to be playing in that position. Going to throw a couple of things over there. See if maybe they can shoo them out, buy them the space that they can move maybe a bit further in off of this. Meanwhile, Weibo is just going to be east of this, while Daytrade and BB are firmly committed in the circle, firmly defended, and BB now firmly entrenched in the middle of the circle on top.
I mean, are we just going to see a repeat of the previous game where the Freaks are on the outside looking in of a compound and make some miracle crash?
Desperate situation.
I mean, this is a great response. What looked like
No, well, things over.
Either
go for it.
Los últimos 3 teams, 4 teams.
Where have I seen that before?
And if anything, it's easier to make it into this compound, and BB has to keep an eye on what's going on with the 4 Angry Men fight. It's going to be best of luck. Looks like that's going to be his job. ZYY does get spotted out. 4 Angry Men have some more options to work around, but they're sitting on such a high kill count already. They're already feeling pretty good. Freaks, kind of the opposing front on this one, as it is going to be BB Team in the defendable position, and it's going to be Freaks trying to see how they can use this hillside, but it's not got the best defendable lines. You can see that the windows on that 2-story is something that they're pretty nervous of, so they keep trying to play right up against this hill. Best of luck is kind of with his position. He has an eye on where 4 Angry Men's going to be at, but it's going to be Phil first and the rest of the squad that's going to have to try to defend this Freaks approach. I think that they might be looking to go for it.
Pero sí, se han estado sumando.
They're going to make the move, but there's a Panzer ready. He doesn't get a kill. They got out of the vehicle.
Man, just jumping through the cars, buying some space away from all of the nades, somehow still alive. This is so well played. Now it's going to be a counter, it's going to be out. Spyro is going to get the knock on Human, but that was such a great job for surviving for so long in a desperate situation.
I mean, this is a great response. What looked like it might be disaster for BB. 4 AM trying to find angles on the outside. They are going to clean up Heaven. Confirm at least 1 more point. Salute's grenade did find Phil first up in the window, and here comes 4 AM trying to hold the line. Best of luck's got 1. ZP on down to very low.
Falló la flash grenade.
Moments. Bobo now finds some angles to work with. Bestelok still just trying to see if he can put something together. Salute trying to come up big. Does manage to take BB team down. It's the Freaks yet again making a compound crush and taking it. 4 Angry Men, what you got left?
I mean, the way they blended that compound was so perfect.
Oh.
And a great spray from Salute. That's Bobo down. Just one player. HS on his feet. Grenades out. Not quite on the point.
Oh, they know. Look at, you can see them trying to line up the nades, see if they can get the flush out. Good read on this one. Going to go ahead and step away, try to see if he can get out of nade range with his teammate. But oh, they're going just a bit too far. Look at this. He's just got nerves of steel. He's got nades rolling down right behind him, landing just a couple of feet, but does not care. He knows that he needs some of his teammates back alive to see if he can find a way to fight his way through this one. Bobo back up, and now it is a 3v2.
Yeah, the internal clock here for the Freaks, knowing that the res was likely to happen since the grenades didn't find that knock or the finish or the win. Now they have to reset, try and find another opportunity. Stuns are going to be so valuable here for the Freaks potentially. They need to make an attempt to cross that road to get over that hill. The circle finish should be right on top of the road itself. So how many smokes you have as well going to be extremely important. And you can see that there are 0 for 4 Angry Men right now, unless they can find some lingering on the back of this hill. I'm not sure if that's what 4AM's looking for, if they're worried about a snake back there, but we know all 3 members of Kwangdong Freaks are on the other side of the road.
There are a couple of things to work with, though. 4 Angry Men do have a more recessed hillside, so they can move closer up to the road itself, but that means that with the way that it's a bit more flat on the opposing side, it's not flat enough to really negate creeping around over there, as you can see that Bean is trying to do that. We've got the lineup and the way that's going to be sitting. Bobo looks like he's going to be playing to the kind of the northwest. Could be lined up against Bean, which means that it's going to be HS to have to deal with Human and Salute both. And Salute, man, he's just been on a tear this game. Mad that he got taken down so early, sitting at 6 kills already.
Now he's picked up a Lynx. I don't know if that's VP's former Lynx or he found another one. Still, though, difference maker in a situation like this. Going to be a little bit tricky. Both players of 4AM have angles, but Bobo's position has been revealed. That means Bean should be a lot safer there.
Porque tengo la cámara puesta,
los Freaks, it was going to be Salute's job to make sure that Bean was safe, so Bean could lock down that western flank. Indeed, does seem to be the case, but you know, here as the Freaks, if you can wait this out long enough, eventually 4AM has to cross the road. The real question is, are you going to be able to wait long enough where you still have some cover to keep yourself safe while 4AM is able to use that edge of the road as a firing line?
What I loved about what set all of this off, whenever we saw the Freaks approach into this, whenever we still had BB team that were trying to defend it up, they knew where 4 Angry Men were because remember these 2 squads were skirmishing earlier. So played the outer wall away from them and tried to deny as many different angles as they could, allowing 4 Angry Men to kind of move and pincer this in. This means the fact that it's all about Freaks knowing exactly who's on the opposing side of this one, has an idea on how they're going to be playing around it. Now can they just manage to exploit at the end? Meanwhile, it's all going to be on to 4 Angry Men. I've now crept into 2nd place, but double the points ahead of them is going to be the Freaks sitting at 42. So Bobo, lined up against Bean, has an opportunity, but no! It is now a 3v1, and everything is coming up for the Freaks.
Yeah, that's a great piece of work there by the Freaks. And now those stuns are going to be so impactful. You know you've only got 1 player left. You're expecting them to be used towards that player going for the res, but HS not having any of it. He's got one, but can't find another. That's going to be the Kwangdong Freaks going back-to-back to start PGC 2024.
Well, I guess congratulations. You're feeling pretty good about making your way into tomorrow at this point. A big thing to note, though, these guys are eating a ton of points away from everybody else on this leaderboard. We were talking about, you know, like, okay, a couple of games here or there getting some points. It is a feast or famine lobby right now. There's a couple of squads that are up at the top and manage to creep their way up into there. 2 games, get a lot of points. At the bottom, it is harsh down there. There's just like 1 or 2 points, or in some cases 0 still to be at.
Yeah, now you got a big question if you're one of those teams. Do you put the pedal to the metal, go for some kills, go for some big point games, or do you play it safe, play it cautious, play it slow and steady?
This is going to just get more and more nerve-wracking as it continues. We've seen a lot of big plays coming out. Freaks, I don't know how they manage to suddenly just become the masters of breaching into buildings and compounds, but I love to see it. Cannot wait to see what's going to be happening as we're going to be moving forward. Game number 2 was absolutely spicy. I cannot wait to see what game number 3 is going to bring.
Lograrán pasar a la siguiente ronda. Circuito 2. Yo no le paré mucho cómo está esa temática de que el torneo, pero bueno. Aquí unos highlights.
Always made sure they had each other's back on
Y esto es
PUBG.
KDF, ¿qué tal? Second match, Fierce again.
Point, but will hold off this corner for a little bit. Lost his crash, but compound and was again, Quagnon Freaks by that
Yo
point
tenía ganas
had sowed the
de darle
seeds of
para
chaos and
atrás
dissent in the
a
compound and was just able to shut it down. You can see there,
quienes
Besto
estaban
not
por ahí
exactly
en la
totally content
final
with how all
combat.
of that went down. But for Quagnon Freaks, they've got to be elated. I mean, we already spoke about the fact that they've probably got top 12 already from the previous game. Never mind that. I said
all four teams. So, Eternal Fire, yes, they do have the compound to work with right now, but they still have a couple circles to work with. Getting that circle love or not, T1 is at no circle love, and they're getting no love except for everybody inside the circle. Everybody's just going to donate a couple of bullets over there. With the containment angles that they've got, everything seems to be coming up their way. Circle is clear. They're getting no love except from everybody inside the circle. Everybody's
that was dangerously close. That level 3 gear worth its weight in gold.
Evanson on 5 kills right now, had the opportunity, but just couldn't get that last couple of shots in. Meanwhile, New Happy, with the containment angles that they've got, everything seems to be coming up their way. Circle is collapsing in, but the pacing slowing back down.
PGC 2024. You can't say that for too long, but look at them go.
It is wild, and I'm not trying to
into second place, but double the points ahead of them is going to be the Freaks sitting at 42. So
in a situation like this,
no entendí por qué
into second place, but double the
hicieron
points
tan
ahead of
pocos
them is
puntos,
going to be the Freaks sitting at 42.
quedaron como
so
en
Bobo
spot
lined up against
10.
Bean has an opportunity,
Y
but
esto,
no! It is now a
hicieron un pocotón
3v1
de
and everything is coming up for the Freaks.
Yeah, that's a great piece of work.
Vamos a ver la sumatoria, ¿no?
Get our nerves back under us. They looked good to me.
I have to reiterate. Yeah.
Others, the sort of team is ditch, so I gotta respect that play, making the most out of their position. And I know the BB team is not going to be happy with the way that game ended with their kill count, and I think they know that that was really theirs to sort of win. But they should at least be happy. They made a good play. They got to a good spot.
Yeah. You took a look at obviously Quagnon Freaks getting themselves another win here. 1,001 as their captain on their the BB of the game, and going up against, unfortunately for them, Quagnon Freaks the linchpin. Do you put big up or do you not? And going up against, unfortunately for them, Quagnon Freaks, who looked good on the breach, really kind of put the nail in the
coffin. It was an incredible breach. The fact that they popped the cars, they shifted to switch a look better than they were used for free. They do, I would have
coming in, right? Like the point though here of okay, PGS get to play. We have mused over before coming in, right? To the point though, that is something that we have mused over before coming in, right? Like to the point though, that is something that we have mused over before coming in, right? Like the idea of okay, yeah, you get to play circuit. Did garner themselves that spot because of the PGS points. They're not as warm because they haven't been able to practice on these games, and it does pose an interesting question.
It does.
Which we'll see develop throughout these circuit days.
Absolutely, because I've talked to some of the teams who are going to the later circuits now, is it an advantage or disadvantage? And I think Tab was
it does pose an interesting question.
It does.
Which we'll see. And it does,
sí, era lo que decía antes, que por ahí les daban puntos por cada cosa que hacían para ganar la match, ¿no? Pero claro, si no terminas a live no te pueden dar muchos puntos. Pero aquí, sí, aquí dice 17 y es como kills. Tal vez hablarán de otra cosa por ahí, el total. Pero bueno, vamos a seguir aquí. Estos dudes le llevan unos 6 puntos. Y no entendí fue cómo estos quedaron en la match pasada de 10. Y esto por quedar de segundo subieron todo eso, ¿no? El NH quedó como de cuarto. Y la match pasada como de tercero y los bajaron a 10.
It does. Which we'll see develop. This is day one where the chaos is going to be, and it absolutely has been relatively chaotic.
All right.
Yeah, day one. And I think Tab was, because I've talked to some of the teams who are going sort of into later circuits and asked, is it an advantage or disadvantage? the one where the chaos is going to be, and it absolutely has been relatively chaotic.
All right, well, leaderboards, as we said, Kwangdong Freaks, congrats, you're in top 12, no problems there. Now, as you say, maybe they can exert themselves on the rest of this lobby and do whatever they want. It did already feel, even in game 2, that it was almost like carefree PUBG coming out from them, and that makes a lot of these teams even stronger in the moment.
Because if you keep playing fundamental PUBG, right, that's what they're doing, they're playing their game, but they also are doing it without the fear of, if this goes badly, ooh, this could cost us our run. Like, once you're locked in, you can play your game, and then the best part is you fine-tune it for the concept.
20 points, things going.
Like things.
PGC, we're on Circuit 1, Day 1 here. It is the very beginning of a lot of PUBG yet to come.
Fuck tanto por ahí, ya comenzamos.
Doing, see if you can keep that momentum rolling.
Well, it's like a double-edged sword, right? So a lot of this, if you're going to try to gatekeep out a team, is going to come down to your analyst, coach, whatever, how much they're really paying attention to the leaderboard, realizing who the threats and how they can be carried over moving forward. But you also have to think long-term. We're just in Circuit 1. So anybody that you mess with now in Circuits 2 and 3, if they have a good start, can come back and kind of mess with you. So there is a lot to really take in. This is a harsh circle into that plane path.
And this is another kind of hot droppy.
All right, BB.
Yeah, that's not feeling good for Trick. The shotgun's doing some work. So already things a little bit chaotic for some of the teams to start. The circle, not very many teams going to be starting in it. See what happens.
Meanwhile, poor League Galaxy is chasing him like a prick. You should know everything. You know exactly where he's going to be placed at. You're from the future. Can you make the play around it? You were just having to chase after the kill. Can't see it yet. Oh, Phil first finds another one to make it a little bit awkward.
Yeah, this is just going very, very awry from the future. Just can't find anything. You know, you've got the shotgun, you've got an opportunity and a doozy.
That's sending a message.
Yeah, he's letting them know. He's letting them know. That's their spot. Possible. They're our top 5. That's
where we see 9 points. It starts to ticker down, and everybody's kind of gets a bit more desperate in those situations. We're moving into the halfway point for the day, so if you're in that lower half of this leaderboard, you've got to start making some bigger plays because
10 minutes, 15 minutes.
For FTF would have desperately needed that point. It's crazy to think about that. That 1 point is so crucial.
Side this, but this has kind of become the new settling point. 5 teams up, but really it's just 3, and they're going to be the north, west, and southeast.
I mean, why not 3 in a row? Why not?
Sure.
Why not?
I
mean, you have 2 players of FTF in front of you, basically standing between a really good chance at another win. If you can get through this cleanly, if you can get through with all 4 up still, you are going to be in a great position. And now you have the opportunity to take some time. Ibiza might find an angle onto Heaven. I mean, Heaven is very keenly aware of it. There's that first knock. Already, Salute is just so devastating today.
Okay, well, let's not forget about the fact that I think that the Falcons have a sight line into what's going to be happening. Freaks look like they're going to execute in. See if they can manage to pick this one up. That's going to be easily done, as now Freaks have control over pretty much half of the circle. But Ibiza with that creeping angle is holding back Salute right now. That's allowing Falcons to shift up a bit more into the north. So everybody is kind of jockeying for a new position based off of the way that VP has shifted into this. It looks like VP really wants to line in and make control over the road a top priority, making sure to leave Lucarex back behind us. But Falcons are reading. See if they can try to pick up Lucarex. Couple shots are going to connect, but not quite get the knock just yet.
Yeah, the real question for the Freaks is how do you get Salute out of this? I'm looking, are there any cars for Salute? Because the VP has angles on his escape.
He's got Hillside back behind him, so he can counter-ramp. It's going to put him out of the game for a little while, but if he can make it up that hillside and get away, it's only going to be whenever he profiles up at the top. Whenever he's creeping over this hillside, he realizes that's the danger point. Already took those shots, revealing himself, so he could be a bit more bold and actually move the hillside to the north and try to see if he can contain VP there.
That's probably what he might do, but that circle shift not favorable. Falcons, thinking they're lucky stars, they have a really good opportunity to maybe find a win and find a guaranteed top 12 finish. And Lucarux, with that forward position he took towards the crates, will be able to sort of lead the way for VP. And that'll open the door for Salute to regroup with the Freaks potentially. It's just how committed does VP want to be to this beam? That was a dangerous prone there. Almost paid the price.
It's all about the pacing and control that Falcons can put out right now. If they can really stop either one of these squads, specifically VP from managing to make it back in the circle, they can force VP down into Freaks and have the firefight happen. They can jump in and be the third party. But with this road cutting right through the circle, it's made it very complicated for all of these teams. It's a no man's land of absolutely no cover that nobody wants to cross at this stage.
It is very, very tricky. Virtus Pro now angling a little bit more towards the Freaks, trying to use these little farm houses to try to get a little bit further forward.
It's a
smokes for Salute to try to open up some opportunity for him to get through. And look at what they're doing. Going one at a time, making sure that he has an entire wall to get over there. But the problem with this, of course, is that you're committing a ton of resources to get Salute over. I get it. He's your best player. I do the same thing.
Wait, what is VP doing? They're hopping inside of vehicles. It looks like they might just go ahead and go for a countersend. They're trying to wrap back into Falcons, realizing the strength of position, trying to sneak in. Falcons weren't even prepared for this. They didn't have the sightlines set. Roth is pretty close, but Snakers, neither one really start taking shots until just now. Beanie takes some damage, but that was it. This has now opened up a new opportunity for Freaks to kind of maneuver down to that southeast.
Absolutely. This is really nice for the Freaks. There's a good blue zone right on top of Beamy. Just barely able to scooch out of there. Gonna be okay for now. Falcons holding on for what it's worth. It's a pretty difficult split that they're trying to maintain. Flood has such an important job here, and in fact, he's even positioning his car to make sure that he's gonna be safe from the Freaks' angle as long as possible. But we've seen this all day today so far, that the Freaks, you're never safe from them in a compound.
I mean, Human's already dancing back in Flood's angle of approach. This is going to become more complicated. Falcons, while they had a lot of control a second ago, that car shift from VP was massive, completely caught the Falcons before they were prepared to deal with it, and now it's just becoming a lot more of a complicated situation. Falcons find themselves in the new pinched position. They were trying to hold everybody back, and now everybody's got their eyes on them.
Smoke's coming down just in time. Flood spotted by Salute. I don't think Flood saw him. Oh, what a knock there from heaven. That last bullet got the head.
What the hell today, Freaks? These guys are playing out of their mind. Nade toss, how quick. Oh my lord! Almost takes him down 1 HP. That was one of the best things I've ever seen thrown.
It bounced right off of him. That's crazy. They could do no wrong today, man.
Flood, you lived by the grace of PUBG itself, is pretty much the way that worked. Just an inch one way or the other, and that nade would have cooked you. Evan looking like he's trying to get a bit more out of this angle. Lucaruk's going to step in, but has to go for the reload. Ibiza is going to go down. Snakers tries to get some more damage out, but he's going to go down as well. Freaks seeing an opportunity in front of him. They're playing down to the south. That means that the other members for the Falcons, most notably Roth, has to defend up against VP. Flood's already been weakened, and now it's going to be the Freaks stepping in, getting control of the center of the circle, and absolutely harassing VP.
Roth doing a great job there for the Falcons. He's going to get taken down by Beamy. Flood is busy trying to keep the Freaks at bay. He did get the knock on a Human, but Salute, grenade, doesn't get the knock. Flood still avoiding disaster. Beamy now trying to do some damage towards the Freaks as well. Has to keep his eyes towards Flood, but certainly this is feeling like a third win in a row for the Kwangdong Freaks.
Just have to be careful. They can't overextend, and they know it. VP using the opportunity of timing to try to get their members back in control. See if maybe they can keep something of this hillside to work with. The Freaks playing right along the road right now. Just absolutely crazy plays. Flood just clinging to life over. He's got the smokes in front of him, realizing, oh, this is risky, and it is going to get punished. So Luke reads it again, and nigh unstoppable. The Freaks just continue to demolish teams.
Oh, they're just barreling in towards VP. They don't care at this point. They just want to end this game. Get it done and dusted. Lucaruk's going to try to hold on. Takes Bean down. Yumi lets loose with some stuns. He's already got blood. Make it 2. End game kills. Chicken dinners. 3 in a row?
3 in a row. That is problematic because this is a massive point sponge that is eating up everything around it. 10 kills on top of that. So high kill counts, walking away with chicken dinners, while everybody else is just begging for the scraps.
Una soberana pela mal llamada.
I mean, what else can you say?
That BB team situation down to the south, and then Quang Freeze came in or whatever. But Virtus.pro and Falcons locked horns towards the very end there, and it's funny when you brought up Falcons because you brought up Flood initially as the team because he was doing a lot of the work.
There, he's gonna have a nice little spread. All we need to comfortable, obviously, Guangdong Freaks with 3 in a row.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
So we went from Heaven having an MVP or a man of the match to
pana nunca hace kills,
and then we're back to Heaven having a man of the match.
Las 3 matches lleva 0 kills, creo yo. El anterior fue
those 2, and I do, while we'll give the man of the match to Heaven, I do want to give a shout out to Bean. Poor little Bean here is not getting. All of them say, "Oh, doing a great job."
No kill, lost the team.
It does feel a little bit like hazing, you know. Hey, new guy, get out there. It'll be a BP does something that's going to be 5 KDF.
14, aquí como que iba a salir, sí, esta segunda tablet.
Exactly when the cutoff is, but you're 69
los panas llevan ya 69 puntos y ya los primeros 5 se están peleando en 20 puntos, ¿no? Esto es súper chistosa la cosa.
That's ridiculous. That is a huge statement for them at the beginning of PGC 2024. Of course, the situation changes as you get deeper into the tournament.
But they're ready for that. You heard that in the interview with Bella. Human said, you know what, this isn't the finals. So all we're going to do is keep playing our game, getting better, and I think that's the mentality that does tell me, if you want to put a pick towards someone, if you've got that extra, that 4th ticket, and you're like, where do I put this? That might be a team to do it, because if that's their headspace now, even this far ahead of like, no, we're not through, we have to focus on our game, I have a lot of respect for that mentality.
And well, with 3 games left, still any team could easily jump out of our bottom 4 here, considering how close it currently is.
Wow.
We only have the 6 games across each of these, unless something very will be down to the very last game every single time. Unless it is meaning that it will be down to the very last game every single time. On days, meaning that it will be down to the very last game.
A la fase.
All you have to do if your team is at 22.
Rondo on the way, scary. I was thinking going to be able to.
Todavía no están eliminados, ¿no?
Yeah,
porque son 6 matches.
Now we head over.
Rondo right now is this is going to be a spicy game. A ton of teams need to make some more points as it is neck and neck. And they want it, you can see, but they just cannot get it. Maybe these last couple attempts, not going to.
That maybe it was an upward trajectory for Gen G this year, coming off of that 4th place finish at PGS 6. Instead, right now, they're sitting in dead last after 4 matches. Dead last in a very dangerous spot. I mean, yes, all it takes is 1 game. You're knocked them down. Bobo as well. Oh my goodness, that's some good long-range shooting. I mean, it is the buggy, the most dangerous of the vehicles, but...
Show
me the nade again.
Show me the nade. Show me the nade.
3 minutes.
Show us the nade. We're
Puede
waiting.
ser que lleve ya aquí 3 minutes, 6 minutes.
Just Z. I think it just can't quite... Oh, that... Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I suspect that a lot of the heat maps are going to send teams north of Chowtin.
That was crazy.
Effect.
Neck and neck to try to get out of those bottom 4 positions. Can you muster the courage as Freaks have been absolutely on a tear?
A lot of hot drops to consider here on Rondo. Talked about it a lot during PGS on this map. It came into the pool, but everything around the center is so valuable.
Como que no salió, sí, ya salió, fue a pintar de mapa
where circles are likely to go, with how the unplayable terrain tends to affect those circles. So things like the test track, stadium are super important because they give you great access to those early circles, to where the likely zones are going to finish. They give you great access to vehicles. There's not a lot of vehicles out on the roads on Rondo outside of the cities themselves. So it's really a lot of things that come into play.
Look at how many jumped there at the end.
Yeah.
Gen G.
That I don't think should amount to anything, I hope.
I hope.
I hope.
I think there you go. I find it funny that you're talking heat maps.
The
heat map that was our last game.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
Clearly, that's on somebody's drawing board. You know, I've seen that circle before, I'm sure.
I mean, it was a pretty wild situation to see it all play out. Is this circle also pretty mean?
And The Freaks just looking to press as best they
unos
can.
25, no, 15
really much
minutos,
connecting
creo.
there for the Freaks. That feels
No
like
hay
an
ningún
aberration.
team down
Feels like, oh,
todavía,
well,
está
that's
bueno.
not good. Barpo already down and out. Great angles here. Great crossfires for the Falcons.
Vamos a adelantarlo unos 10
Setting up to
minutos.
really everybody from this rooftop. I mean, just doing tons of damage. His ADR is to be through the roof in this game. VP, though, starting to fall apart. A couple different teams getting involved there. 4AM loses one player off screen to Tanadol. So Godv and HS gonna have to try to just claw their way through this circle. But the good news is you've got some free points on the other side of the circle. There you go. Easy money for 4AM. But now with the blue there, it's so hard to get through a city in this scenario without just an absolutely ridiculous amount of smokes.
And there's so many weakened squads that are kind of creeping their way in here, still buying up placement point positionings. 23 still alive, 8 teams still up, but almost all of them are in the north right now with Falcons, Luna Galaxy, T1, VP, 4 Angry Men, all in a very similar pathing to each other. Just going to be EF as well as BB, maybe Day Trade, all pretty comfy at the time being. It's Kraken, just hiding out right next to that window. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Luca Rux is going to be moving in. She's going to have to be careful. Raining just jumps and delivers himself right to Luca Rux. Thanks, I guess.
It's raining. It just comes right in.
It was there in front of me and I missed it.
You dangled it out there for me, and I had to take that. Falcons, man, this should be, I think, a pretty strong finish. I mean, if they can clean out the rest of these teams that are around them on the north, then you got to kind of worry about EF in front of you, but there's going to be a lot less third-party potential if they can just hold on to this edge of the zone for as long as they possibly can. Day Trade has a good opportunity. BBB, just BB, looking really, really good. There's some space out in the west that our observers are begging a team to take, but I just don't think anyone could get their observers.
Nobody has any vehicles left.
No, exactly.
So you'd have to burn a lot of smokes at that stage instead. See, it looks like Falcons are going to line up against T1. T1, no cover to be had except for that little corner. Oh, the molly. Going to separate out. Nade just narrowly missing T1 as they make it to the new outer wall. Oh, that one's going to be massive. That's going to do a ton of work. Relo's going to get hit the knock on one. Tyson's in trouble. That's going to be pretty much all she wrote. T1 gets eliminated. 1,000 damage popping off for Relo.
I told you he was farming ADR from up on that roof. Just absolutely going nuclear. And now Falcons do have to make a move. There still is the Kraken from Luna out there in the wings. I think they know he's out there. I'm seeing a lot of the Falcons players really focusing their attention there. Yeah. That could just be just diligence, but something makes me think that Flood at least has an idea. One thing I will say I like about this format, there's no reason to sacrifice points. You might as well just go for it.
Yeah, Falcons were definitely reading that. They're great at making sure
they pay attention to the kill feed. Están alive los BBs.
It was next to them earlier. They got most of the kills on top of them, so they knew to be keeping an eye out for that Luna player on the kill feed from the moment that he was down to a solo. Now, Day Trade, EF, what you going to do against Falcons? Falcons have already managed to pick up 12 kills, feeling pretty good, but they want more. The problem is, how do you path into this? You've got a ton of kills, but a lot of the kills have not necessarily been something that you can run up and grab the crates to. So they make it a bit more complicated as far as overall utility moving in the later stages of the game. Actually, Falcons are going to run that one in. They got a guard.
Well, there's some buildings out there. They're not the safest of buildings. You can see there's a lot of open space in there. That's why Rock is going to pay the price. More Falcon players trying to cut in. Code Marco and Ruin find a couple kills for EF. They really would like a few more points and feel pretty comfortable. So far, doing a good job from this spot. Really kind of down to them and BB.
Internal fire.
Separated between the northern and the southern edge of this current circle. Spiral just looking to harass, do any extra damage possible. Oh, that was a dangerous run. Day Trade able to get behind that fence into the next circle, so they're safe for now. But again, my immediate question is,
sí, quedarse en los roofs nunca están así certero. Tiene buen ángulo, pero está demasiado abierto,
They're
¿no?
perfectly content to just kind of
Y
let this one go and let
darte
the
a
firefight
ti
happen around
demasiado fácil
Okay, they've got the wall, they've got that hill. They can make some stuff
en
happen, but this
comparación a la
is...
ofensiva.
I just think there's too many angles. Okay, well, okay. They've got the emergency cover, and they've got a bunch of smokes. like at least 3 plus maybe I think I saw some of the smoke grenade launchers in there. So maybe.
Well, the bigger problem is that they have to move at roughly the same time that Eternal Fire is going to have to move, and they're going to have to move at roughly the same positioning. So any cover or smoke that they throw out, they have to block BB, but they also have to block EF. And I don't know how well you can execute this. It looks like EF at least has some cover, a bit of a wall to play from. So maybe that could be the only reprieve for day trade. I don't know. This is gonna be hard.
Yeah, no. No matter how you slice it, it is going to be very tricky. I'm just trying to math out the best possibilities for day trade, as are you. And it's look, the statistics aren't great. They don't look good for day trade. We'll put it that way.
Well, EF looks like they're more caught up in Falcons, and that's actually very good for day trade because that's going to remove the 2 squads that they might have to worry about. Now it is just going to be BB. While we've got this going on, EF just throwing everything in the kitchen sink into Falcons' position. Look at all the smokes already down. EF going to go ahead and flank back around behind this. I don't know if Snakers has got a read on it yet, but he's at least on the opposing side. Looks like Codemarco might have saw the feet on that one, so now stepping away, it is going to be Spyro. Plus got one, but the high ground position only on Burn. But no, Snakers is going to go ahead and get the knock, but encounter off of that, it's going to be Codemarco.
So well played by Codemarco. Just a great bait position. Almost worked a treat for Eternal Fire, but they still lose a player up on the roof. Rune down. Codemarco getting pushed. Rello just holds the trigger down, takes out Eternal Fire.
Got some cover to work with, so should be able to get the res on Snakers. The firefight with day trade pretty much done. BB team now making their move out. They want to go ahead and get control of the entirety of the circle. It's going to be best of luck to trying to flank in back behind. Deny out any form of res. Flood is already down. BB a doozy leading the path inside of the compound itself. Spyro kind of the guy in the back that should provide any form of cover. Rello all by himself now, and that is a 1v4. BB's had themselves inside this compound for forever. They want to get out, they want to stretch their legs, and unfortunately for Rello, that means that they are everywhere around him right now. No options to work from. Tries to go for the spray, but of course, it's going to be BB team that walks away with it.
Just able to play out that end game very, very nicely. Everybody just gets stuck in Zhao Tin, fighting along the edge, and BB team can just watch and wait and take their moments, take their opportunities. What a play there at the end of that game by Rello and the Falcons. Really doing a nice job coming through and getting some big points, getting themselves up to 2nd place, I think, or close to, maybe 3rd now because of BB.
I mean, they wanted it, of course they did. But that was such a big game for Falcons that finally gets the space, the comfort. They now know that they're pretty good to move into tomorrow. So, I mean, very specifically high kill counts coming up big from them. Tons of control, a lot of stuff as we're going to be making our way over to Miramar next.
Well, it will be BB team finally ending the tyranny of Kwangdong Freaks here, getting themselves on the board. And they've already had themselves plenty of points, but this will solidify themselves very nicely up towards top, alongside Falcons, who are popping off right now. We saw even Snakers 1,000 damage as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a team that we expect good things from. They've been on a bit of a slide lately. In fact, I think they're angry that they're being considered the 3rd best team in our region. So this is a chance for them to kind of come back and put a story together. But for me, BBT, I think, you know, you said that if these guys get rolling, that they might not be you might not be able to stop them. So far, it looks like that was it. They've been gaining in confidence.
I did think that the second Erangel, where they had that compound, and if they were able to hold that down, I said to you, when that was going on, I feel like if they get something's rolling here, that will be when they just do not stop throughout the day. Of course, they run into a Kwangdong Freaks who's playing carefree PUBG, and that's a problem. That's a thorn in their side. But now it looks like they really are rolling. What a great push to finish off the situation again against the Falcons that was on fire here. And I mean, I'll go even further than that. I said to you just before, technically, for me, this is a team in the EMEA that could eventually win an international.
Okay.
They've just really had a bit of an odd time over in the EMEA this year.
I mean, it's one of those things where, like, you know, you've been watching them because you're in the EMEA, and like, these guys have great moments regionally, but for the fans and the rest of people watching abroad, like, this is a team that has not made it to a PGS. They missed EWC. Like, internationally, they haven't had a showing since PGC 23, where they got 18 with this roster. And so it's one of those, for everyone, there's just questions. And I think for even themselves, they'd have some of those questions. So to come out here, have a pretty solid,
Lo que pasa es que los Dots tienen buena gaming, ¿no? Han dado ya sus buenas winning, no hay nada muy close ahí. Y quienes van a ganar, eso ya se pusieron super lead. Vamos a ver aquí la...
One or 2 points, but we never gave up. We've still played our game, and to see them come here and do that, I think is going to send a really strong message to, I think, a lot of the teams out there who also haven't been. But well,
sí está la. Creo que hicieron un recess. Y bueno, sí quedaron la BB, Falcons, y ya después le siguen unos con 8, se dice por ahí, GE, Fire, está buena esa parte por ahí, pero ya por lo menos estos dos, yo creo que los BB y los Falcons se fueron totalmente despegados. Igual, si no llegan a tener buenos puntos ahí, no se meten en la last. Hacer esto por aquí, el mismo video de antes. 4 minutes. Y aquí ya está la drop.
It is going to be pretty much a southern path. So if you want to go pretty far up to the north, it could be a bit complicated. You're going to have to find yourself a vehicle pretty early.
Absolutely. And just a friendly reminder, you want to make sure you've got your QR code device, whatever you're going to use to scan that, ready when we get to the top 4. You have a chance to win some G-Coin. If you put that QR code in, it's a chance, you're not guaranteed, but some lucky winners are going to come through. 100 lucky winners, in fact, who enter that QR code in will be potentially winning some G-Coin on December 31st. So a nice little New Year's Eve gift for yourself, as I think we deserve an island circle. I'm just going to say...
We're not going to start on that because, one, I don't like island circles. Look, whenever T, who loves crazy, dangerous, evil circles, is telling you that island circles are kind of meh, that should tell you something.
I don't know if we can be friends anymore.
Dude, I'm sorry. All the firefighting happens in the middle of the section. Everybody's fighting on the hillside, on the outside of it. The island itself doesn't matter except for being a catalyst. Give me something else spicier than that.
Well, hot drop time, and it's the Falcons and KDF.
Ooh.
Why not? I mean, you're going to play tomorrow. This is what I'm talking about. You have opportunities now to kind of mess with other teams, try to secure your locations. And for both these squads, I think this is a perfgonna fair fight. If something comes of it up on the upper hills of Chumacera around those warehouses, and just, who's gonna commit? Oh yes, Winnie. Let's go, Heaven.
Oh, I love it. Give me some more Winnie action, especially in Chumacera. Oh, this is one of my favorite parts of Miramar, and we get Falcons as well as the Freaks lined up against each other, but they are kind of lined up in a defensive situation, so we might not see a real firefight happen out of it. I want it to happen, but I don't think it's going to.
I'm a bit sad, but maybe Rello will get something going. He's flanking out pretty far to the west there. That's what I'm talking about. He might be able to catch, I think that's Guman out there on the road, but Guman loves that jump peeking, so...
Well, I think he's just defending the hillside, making sure that nobody runs up it and expecting somebody, so this is a good defensive play. Does mean that he's going to be a bit out of the looted situation. As you can see, he doesn't have much ammo to work with, nor a helmet. So this is more just a go-away style situation. Take a couple of shots being like, hey, we know that you're coming. We're already in a flank position on you. You don't want to mess with us.
And you can catch the cross, potentially, of the players leaving that warehouse to go back downhill. So that's a decent spot for Rillo to take. But I was kind of hoping this would just be like a, gloves off, let's brawl, let's see who wins this. But, I mean, you could share Tumasera. It's got kind of two tiers to it. You got the upper plateau and the lower end of the city. So for now, that seems to be what's going on, as the circle is over in this direction as well. That might be playing a factor in this as well.
No rush. You really don't have to make any form of commitment. Luna Galaxy, though, is running a 2-1-1 loot situation, so technically has them pinched, but not really at the same time. So we might see something brew based off of how we see Vinny rotate, as well as he's getting kind of close to the Falcons, but there's that hillside in between them. This 1v1, though, could be the start to something spicy, or it could just be two different players lining up against each other, maybe pick up a kill, and that could be about it. As you can see, our overall top killer is going to be the Freaks with Snakers and Vilburst mixed in.
Yeah, Snakers is picking up half that damage in that previous game, basically. He hit that 1,000 damage mark along with Rello. Rello,
in the end, because it's going to be FTF finding that kill, picking it up. Can they get some more is the question.
Unfortunately for Gen G, that knock.
And it's going to be against the Freaks of all squads.
Yeah, this is...
uno pasa 20 a 5 por ahí de 8 teams en 5 minutos ya, porque la mapa está demasiado pequeña.
Oh, poor Cord.
Y ahí estos que estaban las teams llegaron a primer lugar, ¿no? Los VPs están haciendo buenos puntos y por ahí tumbaron, creo que fue a los Falcons.
He's just kind of trapped over there. It's going to be Nixie to find him, take him down. VP's now got control on the outside of this. Freaks kind of watching what's going to be going on with those couple of shots, realizing that, hey, we lost a couple of our kills to these guys that were vulturing outside.
Code! QR code! Scan it! You have a chance to win some prizes. It's a chance. You're not guaranteed. So get out there, scan that code. And again, 100 lucky winners from that code are going to get some G-Coin.
Got yourself some time to work with it. Well, we have
está bueno, ¿no? Vamos a ver qué tanto hacen. Por ahí tumbaron a uno del KDF.
FTF, you are buying yourself some placement points and the potential for a win in this point, but you've got Freaks that are coming up back behind you.
Quedan dos del este team que está de último.
But now he's going to come storming the hillside back behind them. Surely, in any given moment, he's playing around the outside
of salvar, pero yo creo que terminaron los
quick, and it's going to be against the Freaks of all squads.
Yeah, this is looking really good for VP. Nice
VP
hold there from the future. Found great angles and two quick knocks from Happy. And, well, I say that. And Beamy going to beam down Samoy. Trying to push the hill. Happy prone down. KDF just waiting this out. Salute.
¿No? Algunas veces los últimos
there to find it.
ahí 5-10 minutos dura bastante, pero esto está
I kind of doubt it.
extra
okay,
close.
I love to play from that point, though. There was a little sneaky spot to be on. Yeah, that one feels good. Some smiles around. A VP wanting that one. Puts him in a much better position. They're pretty much established at the stage. But now the stage is set for our last game of the day.
Absolutely. I mean, just tremendous performances, not just from KDF, but VP today has been really solid, really steady. I have to tip the cap to them. I've been really happy with their game plan. They've executed on it. And now FTF has to be feeling really good. Like, they're looking like they're going on to play tomorrow.
I think that they managed to touch the top 12. I think that they were
right in between these valleys, like trying for these teams to either get across the roads like a From the Future or around the end of 2019, 2020, that is our drama. Who is going to be in danger? You do not want to be going down in our first circuit. In day one of PGC 2024, it is a
teams coming into
effectively,
PGC. So say this lobby is missing the top. You to put that to them. Building, but it sounds like some of these rosters have really started in. This tomorrow and
put a big thorn in the side.
Vamos a ver esto aquí un segundito. Estos KDF llegaron de nuevo a la final. Sí, a los últimos 5 teams, 4 teams ya hacen buenos puntos. Los BB y los Virtus. No, estos ya son los últimos puntos, ¿no? Pasaron a segundo. Yo creo que los BB estaban de segundo. Le sacaron unos buenos dots ahí. Los Falcons están todavía. Y los 4AM se quedaron peleando ahí del quinto. Ya yo no creo, bueno, hay que ver esta última match, a ver. Creo que no terminan de hacer mucho 10 puntos en las matches. Si lo sacan rápido. Estos en H terminaron con 20 puntos, ¿no? Los Luna estuvieron bien ahí peleando como los primeros 10 puestos. Yo creo que así hacen unos 20 puntos, así que llegan los últimos 3. Se podría meter por aquí, ¿no? En el top 5, algo así, dependiendo de los otros resultados por ahí.
We're in here, but for Kwangdong Frick, let's take a look to where expect while it
below them keep their only one make that.
Thinking, hey, New Happy said LA, but then it feels like they've been almost inactive in the past couple of games, almost non-existent.
I mean, if you've got like Ming captain, everybody goes.
¿Qué salió aquí? Miramar de
Are the
nuevo.
bottom four in a wheelbarrow? Are they in a golf cart? Are they in a cart? Running themselves into the wall? I don't know. One way or the other, though, we're going to lose 4 squads today for this circuit. Can they manage to rally at the end? We saw FTF. They managed to do it right there at the end. They managed to put themselves into 11th, but is it going to be enough? Because it does not feel like it. They need one more.
Yeah, it might not be. And that's why we're looking at them and New Happy in particular. They're right on the bubble, potentially being eliminated. I mean, consider this. Gen G, New Happy, 2 teams who have won PGCs. Obviously, in some cases, very different rosters with Gen G. We still have a couple of the players on New Happy who have won a title and are just kind of not really finding success. I mean, the early part of the day, I thought New Happy was looking pretty good. Erangel was really solid for them. But since then, not much has been done, and that's really shocking. I mean, I thought they looked like they were going to be in cruise control to get through, and now you're in potential desperation mode depending on what the heck happens below you.
New Happy giving a good definition of what entropy is right now, is it's just a slow and steady collapse until they manage to find something to work out for them.
I like it when you use physics terms.
Hey.
Ooh.
So a circle got a pop. I like this one. We got ourselves Impala as well as Puerto Rico in there. There's some of the water, but there's a lot of fun things to be had. We already saw, I don't want to say it was really an urban finish today whenever we were looking back over into Rondo. Maybe we'll get ourselves one with Los Leones.
Yeah, I mean, there is kind of some interesting circles that can shift towards Los Leones when you maybe don't necessarily expect them to. We saw this at 5 and some other events this year where you're like, okay, it's definitely going to leave Los Leones, and then it shifts up to like the northern part of it, and you're like, huh, okay then. But really cool that we also get to see the northern part of it, and you're like, huh, okay then. Only going to leave Los Leones, and then it shifts up to like the northern part of it, and you're like, huh, okay then. But really cool that we also get to see some of the perspective of our teams at PUBGesports.com. Definitely want to be checking that out. I mean, I have to imagine a bunch of people are watching the Freaks today because they are just absolutely going nuclear. And if you're not, you're probably missing out. So have us open on one screen, have the Freaks open on another. Yeah, sounds like a good day.
Don't forget about the map on the 3rd.
Yeah, that's
all the information. You can know everything.
I like to put the map up on my phone. That's like a good like.
Lines from Weibo as well as Freaks. They've set a firing line together to absolutely decimate anybody from Tiamba and T1 trying to move.
Now, Salute is going to go down to Flood, actually. Shows up when he's least expected. Claims a point, but will go down to the blue as well. So Heaven and Bean, 2 alive. Still Weibo way up on top.
Los KDF,
Heaven,
unos
he can find the distance, but he's just so far below that he can't quite throw him up. Doesn't matter.
Si le dieron down a 1.
Tanadol actually going to knock Heaven from afar. So Weibo might have been gifted an opportunity to get off this rock side.
While Tiamba felt like they wanted it more, T1 manages to weather the storm, and Tiamba has been slowly picked apart by all of these bullets coming from this hillside. Now, can T1 manage to make something happen while Freaks are just absolutely raining terror down on Weibo? Weibo now in 10th place, tied up with FTF, feeling pretty good. It's just going to be about how big of a move can we see Tiamba or T1 make to step into TE or New Happy's position.
Still, FTF has a role to play in this game. I'm seeing them make a move towards the circle, get cut apart by VP. Couple knocks there from Ibiza and Nixie. Over to 7-7, trying to keep this barricade on a T1. T1 clinging to this hope that they can get through to the next day. But Pow Pow, 7-7, have other ideas. A really favorable angle here potentially for up-pubg, but now he's got 2 players. Has to pull back.
Gotta be careful. There's getting a bit more loud, drawing attention. Daytrade wants nothing to do with this. They're creeping forward, but Bobo is right back behind 7-7. Not a clean sight line, so we won't see him intersect just quite yet. FTF also getting eliminated means that this is all just down to T1 and Tiamba and how much can they get. They're already lined up against each other in a big way. Daytrade already moving into VP's positioning right now. So still remember Bobo is over there. T1 starting to get the inside track. Raining starting to creep in. 7-7 not having the cleanest angle and trying to control this one. Numbers advantage for T1 right now is massive if they can manage to navigate these smokes. Tiamba moved into this position. They wanted to stop T1 in their tracks and instead got picked apart at range. Can now we see Tiamba manage to make the magic happen for themselves?
Well, unless another team kind of just comes in and wipes them both out, there's a chance they both get through, that they both get ahead of New Happy. Or if just one wipes the other out, they will just go ahead and they'll keep the other from getting through. So this is such an unbelievably big fight right now between Tiamba and T1.
Bobo being in the shack is absolutely massive. I mean, if he goes down or this firefight between Daytrade and VP pops off, just buying any placement points moves them right up against New Happy. As you can see, it's starting to pop off a bit more. 7-7, does he even know how close they got in? Raining's taking the shots on one side of the rock. You can see the T1 wants to go for the grist plate. Zenith steps in, he goes down. Tiamba trying to defend this one up. They have the opportunity in front of them, but it's going to be stepping it tight. Going for a big play.
Se quedaron de quintos
He's going to go down as well. It's just down to Raining. Stepping in, Tiamba has managed to defend in as much as humanly possible. 7-7 reads it. Steps around, gets more damage. Raining has no but gets the knockout. Pow spins back around. 4 Angry Men goes down.
Creo que estos en el TNC estaban buscando
Tiamba has stepped into 12th place position, but T1 is right.
unos buenos puntos.
T1 steps
Uy,
in,
les
and that
dieron
is going to be
down,
all she wrote. T1 gets it. Tiamba is out. What a play.
Sí, necesitan tumbar, claro, los VP están super posicionados, ¿no? Están buenos tumbar los VP. Y estos de ahí tienen buena posición también. Yo creo que ahí sí los tienen tumban a los Day y quedan primero. Se posicionaban chévere, por lo menos cuarto. Ahora, sí, porque están subiendo ya del punto de donde están por ganar, ¿no? No van a llegar a pasar a nadie, pero se quedan entre los primeros 5 ahí. Y estos de ahí están también que necesitan ganar. Los T1 están igual que los Tian, ¿no? Pero creo que les costaba más.
Somehow, Raining wins that. I mean, they had him dead to rights. He was low health. It was the right move to try to swing down and finish him. Nixie pops a tire, puts some damage into Zenith as well. Smokes now coming through. Like you were mentioning, he has to get to the other side.
Keep in mind, T1 doesn't know exactly what the point totals are like we do. They can have a rough estimate. So they're playing off of nerves right now. Meanwhile, Nixie is just dancing around, seeing what he can get out of it, while T1 is just nervous, trying to figure out if they need to get one more point. Or they end. Is it enough? It's going to be explosion directly in front of them, while the rest of the circle is pretty much just chill. They're like, nah, let's just see what T1 can do.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, we've got our positions. We're fine. You guys have to earn this. You know, absolutely, if we had the heart rate monitors on these players right now, it would be through the roof for T1.
Y aquí está uno de Day, por allá un poco más adelantado de los segundos, Belmont.
42 points overall. You know, nothing really outrageous, but 9 kills here in this last game. Really nice.
Los
end of the day.
VPs, bueno.
Certainly going to be a threat, as always. You know, Daytrade is such a good team, such history behind them. And now Raining going to try to make some kind of move. Zenith at least is in, but Raining is in a really awful spot, if I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
That is...
I mean, VP has control over this whole circle. That's why we're not seeing Daytrade doing too much. Nixie's going to try to move out. I mean, yeah, it's just that he's walking down into an open territory. There's nothing that he could have done there. Looks like Daytrade Denadol was hoping that maybe he could sneak in back behind VP to make something happen here, but I don't know. T1, I think that this is about it, but you managed to do the work that you needed to. Just really, how big of a distraction can you be so Daytrade can maybe exploit? But VP in second place, great day for them.
Yeah, for sure. just loving VP right now. Nixie is going to watch this tree. The circle will eventually do the heavy lifting for him, or that grenade. Yeah, ooh, nicely thrown. Just barely got enough damage across that tree. And that is going to be T1 out, and they will hopefully see very soon that they have
los de ahí estaban, creo que alcanzaban a los VP, pero ya con segundo y primero creo que no los alcanzan, tenían que poner a los VP como de décimo.
Should be able to get the knock onto that one, and does manage to do so. So it looks like it could be 10 kills any given moment for BP, while it's going to be Thelmoth running away, and BP does pick it up the last game of circuit day number 1, and it's going to be BP walking away with a ton of points for our last game.
Hey,
un minuto para
what a performance from them.
Lo que quedó
a very, very, very solid show. And you got to be thrilled for VP. I mean, you know, again, with how rough this year has been, considering how well it started, now they're looking good. And T1 is like, oh my, they don't know yet.
You can see nervous that, like, if they knew, there would be an entirely different face right now on these players. So they do manage it. Okay, they figured it out. Okay, they squeaked it by just by the skin of their teeth, managed to pick it up. But this does mean that we're losing 4 of our teams to be replaced by our next set of 4 moving into tomorrow. So we're going to get a ton of new faces and some fan favorites as well.
Absolutely, but you can see the heartbreak here on the Tianba. It felt like it was in their grasp. Certainly that moment was theirs for the taking.
I feel bad because they tried to move into the right spot, and then they just got picked apart by so many different teams. There's so much to look forward to moving into tomorrow. I cannot wait.
Vamos a adelantarlo un poco. Por ahí estarán diciendo de qué va esto. Quedan unos 20 minutos, media hora de video, ¿no?
Virtus Pro goes back to back on Miramar, and another chicken dinner on the board, securing themselves a great spot here throughout day number 1.
Not quite Virtus Pro. A couple times we've tried to find those 4 pictures, but they have played very, very well. They managed to avoid the win. That said, I will say that a lot of the focus, think of all the teams who were in that lobby in that last game, were a little more centric around who's going to survive this and who's qualified through. Some of the other teams had a little bit of a Game 6 scrim vibe to them. But what I think this is great for Virtus Pro is it sets them up moving forward to tomorrow with a lot of confidence. And as you know, you heard Paperthin say at the end of their cast, it's been a shaky year. It started so strong, it really fell off. This is great news to see them starting PGC so strong.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, once they missed out on a PGS 5, PGS 6, and, you know, I think that in the background they will have been working because of the potential of FaZe getting the 8th seed when it came to those PGS points, and they knew that they had to take the bull by the horns and run with it. And so far, for day number 1, they have. The biggest test is not yet presented itself though, as they kind of finish things off. But as you said, our focus really was on those bottom teams, and what was going down between Tianba and T1 was unbelievably down to the wire. I thought T1 had this in the bag, and then Tianba, in a blaze, tried to keep themselves alive, and they realized in that moment exactly what was on the line, it seems.
Like glorious phoenixes, they tried to rise, but at that last moment, and you know, when we get down to the scoreboard in a little while, we're going to go through that because it really did come.
We'll play from you. Awesome.
Eso por aquí.
Yeah, I just taught him that right before we got to our interview. You know, such a great start to day 1. So I want to hear you. What's your take on ending the day as number 5?
I think after the first 4 games, we really just focused on trying to eliminate Tianba. It was nothing personal, but we just wanted their drop spot. And the way this format works, we wanted to get Palace and make sure we have Palace for future games. But we're quite happy with how we played, and we knew once we qualified, it didn't really matter what place we came, so we kind of just stopped going super hard after the first 4 games.
You just came and played and you got what you wanted. That was great. And Flood, you are one of the few players that has played at every PGC. What does that mean to you?
I think it's really cool to see because I can see how I've changed as a player and a person over all the years. Like I remember 2019, I was a way worse player, significantly worse. So it's really cool to see how I've changed, especially like my play style and how I communicate with my team. So I'm definitely thankful to have so many experiences and opportunities to grow as a player.
I love that. I'm guessing this whole energy, this wholesome story carries on into tomorrow as well. So knowing that you played your 6 matches, what do you want to take into tomorrow as day 2?
I think today we played really aggressive with our splits, so I think just continuing playing aggressive and really holding as much space as we can.
I love that. All right, well, best of luck to you for tomorrow as well. And all right, 감사합니다.
Thank you.
That was our first post-match interview with Falcons Flood, and I'll be joined by Guangdong Freaks Salute on the stage for our next interview. Salute, where are you? He is nowhere to be seen right now. There he is. Oh, why? Salute, join me on stage, will you? Up here, we are on the main stage because this is, oh yeah, you could pass off the microphone. Thank you, Flood. Yeah, are you guys getting this? 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. 여기 서주시면 됩니다. Hi guys, I'm joined by Guangdong Freaks Salute number 1 of the day. So I want to know, how are you feeling? 먼저 살루트 선수 만나보겠습니다. 와, 오늘 엄청난 활약을 보여주셨습니다. 일단 소감부터 먼저 들어보겠습니다.
사실 오늘 게임이 잘 됐는데 저희가 3년 치킨을 하고 나서 좀 분위기도 타고 팀원들도 다 잘해가지고 만족스러운 하루였던 것 같습니다.
I am overall satisfied with our performance today. You know, our 3 back-to-back chickens. So, like, I think my team was really feeling the energy. So, yeah, I'm happy with how we played. And you are here with the Guangdong Freak boys, but you are the only player, only defending champion here. I feel like that must have added a little pressure onto you. 이제 좀 살루트 선수가 유일하게 이제 PGC 디펜딩 챔피언으로 올해 이렇게 참가하게 됐는데 좀 개인적으로 부담감도 있었을 것 같긴 해요. 좀 어떠셨어요?
오히려 부담감이 하나도 없고 저도 오히려 즐겨가지고 잘 됐던 것 같아요. 왜냐면 일단 한번 해보기도 했고 우승을 PGC도 많이 겪어본 대회이기 때문에 좀 차분하고 침착하게 할 수 있었던 것 같습니다.
너무 멋있다. 즐기는 자가 진짜 무섭네요. Salute, he said that you know, I didn't really feel any pressure. I was here and I held that trophy, so I think I could actually put down the pressure and actually enjoy the tournament, and it's been going great. And I feel like you owe a thank you message to the fans that have stayed up so late watching you guys. So now is the time. 이제 늦은 시간까지 이렇게 같이 함께 보면서 응원해주신 팬분들께도 감사 인사 한마디 부탁드리겠습니다.
제가 이번 한 해 동안 좀 국제전에서 아쉬운 모습들이 많았는데 결국 뭐 PGC만 잘하면 장땡 아닙니까? 많이 응원해주시고 꼭 PGC에서 우승할 수 있도록 노력하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
What Salute said was that I'm not very proud of what my performance was this year, but PGC is the event that matters, right? So send us a lot of love and thank you for all the love that you've been sending so far. Alright, that was Salute. Salute 선수 오늘 너무 고생하셨습니다.
감사합니다.
내일도 best of luck입니다.
감사합니다.
That was Guangdong Freaks' Salute for our last post-match interview, and I'm Bella. That's all from me here. So we're gonna go back to the desk to get a final wrap of the day. 안녕.
Yes, thank you very much, Bella. I understood best of luck at the very end. So yeah.
So they absolutely dominate.
It was that away. We do have Virtus Pro getting themselves another win on the board, obviously shoring up their defense. The Amber
actually down. I do get you a
game right.
Yep, that's true.
Well, Virtus Pro didn't damn.
But they're also and they're fighting
pretend for them through the entire turn.
So we
will see. So impressive by Nixie here to be able to take another man of the match. All right, let's get a total summary of the day and see how everything unfolded. Not too much surprise that Guangdong Freaks were able to dominate the leaderboards.
It is actually really impressive to see how them dominate. Now, when you say it's not surprising after we watched them play. I do think when we came into Gate today, a lot of people said, I expect KDF to do well. I don't think, I'm surprised to see them do this extravagantly well. I mean, they do we all picked them for the fantasy team because they were a top roster for the slot. But they have dominated. They almost got their fourth. I mean, their control of the map was just wild.
Well, again, PGS6, the group stage was one of the 3 players to do 5,000 damage, and then alongside that, they go into the final. Salute dies early in a lot of games, and then the other 3 were floundering in like late game scenarios. Seen to my sport.
¿Cómo quedó la tabla?
Step up here. They did not. Let's look at that cutoff right now.
Yeah, so, okay.
Sí, lo que pasa es que aquí los muestran.
Look at that cutoff right now.
No, están
los
nombres completos, sí se me entiende.
We've been here. They would have confirmed those 2 kills, and it's one of those things where you use this. They're
sí, este es el final.
who hit that shot coming around the rock.
Bueno, en las 6 partidas que hubieron estuvo chévere. Los lunas quedaron de 8, ¿no? Estos que quedaron por ahí quedaron de 9 from the future. Que las 2 primeras matches quedaron de último, ¿no? Lograron saber ahí bien. Los T1 bajaron bastante. Los Way buen chévere. Que va, ¿no? In H. Y sí, estos Tiamba. Quedaron de tercero. Creo que fueron esos Tiamba. O los T1. Sí, no subieron para nada. Los otros como que tuvieron buenos spots ahí. Y bueno, lo que hicieron fue despegarse. Yo creo que se sumarán estos puntos en las partidas de mañana, ¿no? Algo así. Y luego pasado mañana que hay más partidas. Seguirá eso. Los Eternal Fire, por lo menos los Luna, ahí tienen. Si se van sumando esos puntos, tienen chance, ¿no? Igual. Básicamente todos los teams tendrían chance, pues. Sería cuestión de ver qué pasa con los que van en tope ahí. Que queden muy de últimos, que no vayan sumando mucho. Y por ahí será la cosa.
Rock at the right time.
Yeah, I do think that we will see, because obviously this is our very first day of circuits. It's not really an experiment. We're just here and then we're living it right now. So we are going to see every single one of these days potentially come down to tiebreakers. Because it's such a short period of time by which to put up points and get yourself moving on.
It's going to be wild. It's going to be exciting, but you don't want to be the teams that are making it exciting for us. 4 new teams make it exciting for us tomorrow. This is going to change. Just 4 teams is going to change the landscape of this map dramatically.
2 that I'm particularly looking forward to out of that. I mean, obviously we can extrapolate tomorrow, but Navi has already said, okay, yeah, our PGS 6 strategies, we will be falling away from those. We'll be moving away from those that did not serve us well. We will be going back to our old strats, and we know how we can actually execute those. And then TSM, ever consistent, have super impressed me throughout the years.
What this rebirth, what this renaissance is coming out of TSM, but if you go back to the previous years, they have been sort of on the sidelines, and then this year they stormed back in a way that I have never seen before. Maybe one of the best resurgences I've ever seen.
They're
going to go back to the players. You're not going to be
without further ado, that kind of does it here for a day number 1. However,
blower, but you go
one in here, we'll see.
Aquí hay como una highlight, ¿no? Como el driver ahí, caramba. Uy, sí, ahí el kill al tercero. Buenísima esa jugada. Bueno, yo voy a matar fiebre y voy a jugar una match ahí. Super PUBG. Ahí como uno nuevo. Super driver. Lleva 3 ahí. Hadouken. Lay them down.
Tôi đoán không?
Esto sí lo vimos, ¿no? 4. Creo que fue. Sí, eso no fue en el circuito de. ¿Qué teams eran estos? Eran los de Estos son los FDK, KDF. Final View. Vamos a darle entonces una partida por aquí. Pero esto, log off. Un Sanok. Sí, está bueno la Sanok. Voy a abrir esto por aquí. Oh, ¿qué pasa aquí? Las buenas de contrabando. Open one. PBU. Sí, para skins. No tengo llaves que abrir. Pues es que me hayan dado una crafting. Estaba tratando de ganarme eso. No, ¿será que al broadcast no le di por el overview menu? Y unos buenos items por ahí. Sponsor. Sí, estos, ¿no? 20.000. 80. Voy a comprar unas llaves. Nickname 70.000. 150. Sí, ese hammer pack está súper caro. Está mejor como unas llaves, ¿no? Unas llaves de esta. Right. 2 minutes. Debería comenzar ya la match. Pen fatal. Oh. Está genial esa búsqueda. ¿Y qué es eso? Stay Frosty Choose. ¿Qué tal? Son como diferentes. Habrán 2 pares. Debería estar aquí todo claro. Oh, me dio lock off esto. Sí, ahora se me medio quitaron las ganas de lanzar una match. Vamos a ver qué tanto dura esto abriéndose. Debería estar rápido. Y me dio un kick total la cosa. El hackeo. El hackeo. Ok, vamos a lanzar reconnect. Continue. Lo que pasa, yo no creo que esté alive. A ver. ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué tal? ¡Qué mentira! Salió al final de la match aquí. Se está terminado. La people. Nadie. Está buena, está buena. Por aquí shotgun. ¿Será que me lleva a hacer shotgun? Vamos con esta 7. Backpack. Unos drops. Yo como que había cargado unas. He hecho una por ahí. Pasó de largo ese dude. Me tiene que estar viendo ya. Se maté. Sí, está como super glitch el pana. IT fire. Get down. Aquí había una buena automática. ¿Será que pongo las dos? 7, ammunition 7, por aquí scope 2, 3, 5. Sí, tenía unas buenas municiones. Usarla. Vamos a darle safe zone.
Chelsea Riabada.
Yo tengo esto de rifle, pero debería ponerlos al revés. Sí. Está 5 mejor de rifle. 9. 9. Vamos a venirme por aquí, peinar. Hacer por aquí. Sí, tengo que encontrar unos mejor items por ahí. Y esto no entendí qué era, ¿no? Es como un fixing. Cinco, 2, extended. Por aquí estamos bien, 5. Aquí viene alguien por ahí. Enemy. ¿Qué pasó? Nosotros terminamos de cerrar la mapa. Sí, está difícil que apareciera alguien de por aquí. No es como de allá. Vamos a darle esta casita aquí que puedo encontrar a alguien. Chiquitón. Parecía que no vino nadie por aquí. Está raro, ¿no? Está súper cerca de la inner zone. Unas 7. Esto está chévere. Vamos a llevarme esto. $40.90. Frag painkiller. $555. Esa handgun está chévere, aunque... tengo la smoke grenade, ¿no? Ahí... 7. Estoy viendo aquí quién aparece. Está esto súper solo. A ver, alguien como hacia allá, inside map. Periscope. Súper interesante, súper interesante. Aquí. Uy, un suppressor. Está mejor ponérselo en sniper. Viene por ahí, vamos a la safe zone. Terminó, apareció, de aparecer nadie. Buenas bullets. Bicycle, bicycle. Sí, aquí puede ser que me encuentre a alguien, ¿no? Hace falta un buen vehículo. Okay, let's go. Stand the Mac. Sí, yo tengo 10 segundos. Sé que va a tener más tiempo por mí. Permit. Enemy. No hay nadie, no sé nadie. Buena bicycle. No se ve nadie, no falta que yo empiece a cruzar esto. Porque me empiezan a dar unos shoots. ¿Hay alguien? Super empty. Uy, qué mal, qué mal. Chuyapi por Pelvia. Chuyapi por Pelvia. ¿Quién viene por ahí? Eso. Sí, fue un super misil eso. Qué loco. Vamos a darle medio tranquilo, por aquí ya esto debe estar minado. Tengo un large backpack, debería estar chévere. No sé por qué esto no me calza. La mountain bike. Mentira. Painkillers no, la mountain bike. No sé, nadie, ¿no? Minuto, yo tengo que darle full speed para allá. Talisman, Chuyapi. Que ahora alguien aquí. Vamos a esta casita. Hacer que está chévere. Hacemos un clean house. ¿Quién va a estar por aquí? Back at the back. No sé por qué no tengo. Aunque se veía alguien ahí. Parecía, ¿no? Scope 4. Sí, esto se armó allá adentro. A 7. Está muy bueno darle por allá arriba. Buena view. Darle por aquí. Uy, eso fue a la izquierda. A la izquierda. ¿Dónde está ese dude? Que no lo veo. lo veo. Sí, se lo tuvo que comer la map. Apareció otro. ¡Qué mentira! Sí, no se ve nadie, es pura mentira. El hackeo, el hackeo. Spectate. Filisma. Quedan dos. Pensé que era el último ya. Qué interesante. El hombre incertidumbre. Chucapi.
Trijepi. Trijepi.
Yo tenía pensado cambiar la cámara de posición, ¿no? Y ya está, ya se vieron los últimos dos. Medio kill, sí. Voy a cambiarla. Log off, log off.